Well. Hello. Sorry, guys. Well, am I sorry? No. I take that back. Why am I apologizing when I shouldn't? Welcome, guys. You're welcome is what I meant to say. You're welcome for gracing you with my beautiful presence, with my beautiful cats. And that is not a lie, actually. Where's my cats? Hello, Kimbap. Do you recognize your name? Kimbap. Jesus, he just ate food, so he's kind of in a coma mode. But hello, guys. I apologize. The thing I do want to apologize for is it took a bit of time to get this stream set up. I was gone for the past couple days or so, 2 to 3 days, just doing some photo shoots. Not a bad thing, you know, make some money here and there, so I can't complain. But both of the photo shoots I did were full day events, so it's been a little bit distracting in terms of trying to get everything done. Separately, I just updated my Mac OS to the latest whatever, the liquid Apple whatever was touted, months ago. And it freaking crashed everything. So I'm surprised that people are here because my stream was like cutting in and out. So thank you guys for being patient with me. Hello, Nico and Garv. Garv, you are back. Wow, it's been a while. Holy, wow, Garv. I think it might be like 3 weeks or something because I was gone for 2 weeks. I had a project and I don't remember the last time I saw you. So thank you for being here again. From day 35. Okay, so there is a value to putting the days because then it's easy for people to point to it. Nice. So you survived a whole month with me and then you're like, F it, can't handle this guy. And then I said, F it, I can't handle it. And here we both are, circled back around. So welcome back, Garv. And thank you, Nico, for being the first one to type in the chat. You know what that means. Let me go find your name. We're going to give you some wonderful PPs. Nico, you got 1296 PPs. Let's go ahead and add 300 more. So 15. I can do math. Oh my God, I was terrified for a second. All right, well, thank you very much, guys, for being here. Today is a little bit of an odd stream. Usually I would have started maybe 3 hours ago and we would go all day. Like I said, though, I had a photo shoot today from, I think I was from around like 8 a.m. I woke up and I was preparing myself. And then I just got back maybe an hour or two ago. And I took a shower because I was so exhausted and sweaty from the shoot. And then I had some Korean food and now here we are. So I'm going to stream for the next, let's call it like until the food coma kicks in, or apparently I'm exhausted from doing a full day shooting. Until then, we're here. So what are we going to talk about while we're here? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of leaning into just what it feels like to be a streamer where you talk about nothing. Not to say that I've talked about anything in the past, but I kind of want to lean into like, what does it mean? If I'm going to be a successful long-term streamer, in my opinion, that means I need to convince people to watch me even when I don't have entertaining stuff to show. We do have some entertaining stuff to show, so don't get me wrong. We're going to be, well, I don't know if we'll go through photos. I have to get through all my Japan photos. Christ, I need to start advertising this trip as soon as possible. So we may need to do a bit of editing on the Japan side. However, I would be remiss to not point out yet again that we did get access to one of the coolest products of 2025, which is the Nikon ZR. And I need to milk the fact that I got access to this camera as a nobody, as a little scrub me, aspiring filmmaker, yada yada. The fact that Nikon trusted me enough to get me access to the camera, and I got to travel to Uganda for about 3 to 4 days to film an entire short documentary together when I had zero experience doing documentaries. So again, I'm going to be milking this to the maximum, which reminds me, let me go ahead and pin the message, the link to my latest YouTube video on all the chats. So !promo, and then give me some moments here as I pin it as I see it. Nico, you said... Well, Garv, you said I'm back. Yes, it feels so good to see you live again. Well, thank you very much, Garv. I appreciate that I could be of some entertainment to anyone besides myself and my cats. But yeah, it feels nice to know that people find value in whatever it is that I'm doing. So thank you very much. And I appreciate you, Garv. It's been a while. So yes, we miss each other. Nico, you said I went to a concert yesterday and I took some really good photos. How can I show them to you? Oh, hells yes, you can. Now, the easiest way is put in Discord. If you hop into the Discord, there is a photo channel and a video channel. So if you've got some photos, feel free to pop it into that do they call them channels? Into that messaging sub chat. I don't know. I don't know Discord well enough yet. But if you go ahead and join the Discord, add it in there, and then let's go ahead and check out the photos. In the meantime, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and pin. Let me pin this link to my YouTube video. Pin message on YouTube. Let's pin it on Kick. Okay. And let's do it on Twitch. Pinned. All right. Oh, wait, no. Twitch has a bit of thing I have to do. Manually unpin or... Okay, cool. Okay, is it done? Okay, I think it's done, guys. So now we have all the songs. Garv, you were saying exclamation mark song. Oh, you know what? That would be kind of cool. But I'd be surprised if people do want to listen to or know the names of the songs I'm using, because I'm not using any popular songs. I'm just using soundtracks that I have access to through like Artlist, Epidemic Sounds, Lens Distortions, because at least I know I won't get copyright struck. This song is called Fugazi? Is that true? Fugaz. Give me a second. Let me get you the title. Okay. This one is called Fugaz by Curtis Cole. I think. Wait, am I doing it right? Hold on. Wait. Yeah, okay, I think we're correct. Man, I don't know how to use the internet. Okay, is this all working? I think it's all working. Okay. I pinned the messages. Garv, you asked which camera can you use for good filming and good photos as a beginner. 500, is that the pound sign? 500 pounds is the budget? Okay. Now, I am a diehard Nikon shooter, but I will at least share with you the first camera that I ever used, because it's at this point it's about like 7-8 years ago. It is the Sony a6000. And the reason I want to share that is because when I purchased it back in, like, let's call it 2016 or something like that, the price of the camera at the time was probably $500 USD. So at this point, after years of every other camera that's come out there, I feel like the price must be like, what, 300? Maybe less? Who knows? I don't know how much things have dropped in pricing, but that was a good beginner camera. I don't know if it does video or not. I presume it does, but I couldn't tell you on the filming side. Now, because if 500 pounds is your budget, I would say maybe a camera body like that would be good. And then whatever remaining budget you have, throw it into a nice lens, of course. Maybe get like well, depending on how much budget, maybe you try to get a fixed prime lens if you have the remaining budget. Otherwise, probably just get the kit lens and just get more comfortable with the camera. And then invest in a lens once you have another 500 pounds as a budget, maybe. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a few ways to go about it, but I think the Sony a6000 is the camera that I started with, and it's the one that made me fall in love with photography for sure, and continue on and on and on. And I still, to this day, have large photos that I printed from the first time I ever shot with the Sony a6000 when I didn't know what I was doing. I was shooting in aperture mode. I didn't shoot in RAW, so it was just a JPEG, but I was able to blow it up into a photo that's like yay tall, I think. So yeah, that's one maybe I would recommend. Hello, low bass guy. Hello. I is very, very good. Thank you for being here. We're doing a bit of an unorthodox stream because yeah, the last few days I was busy with a few photo shoots. The photo shoots all went very, very well. And I just got back a few hours ago from the last photo shoot that I just did, which was all day. So from like 8 a.m. until maybe 5:30 p.m. I think we were 5:30? No, it might have been like 6 to 6:30 is when I finally got home. So to say that I'm exhausted is an understatement. However, I have so much energy right now because we're talking to you guys. The stream is on. Why not? So thank you guys for being here. And how long am I going to stream today? I might stream. We might do a long stream today because I'm not sure if tomorrow I want to do a long stream or not. It's a Sunday, so it's a bit quieter anyways. Plus, now I really have to catch up on a bunch of stuff. So, Low Bass, you said I was up late last night too. Is this like about to be your mom joke or something? Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, I do apologize. Because I said that without remembering or thinking about your specific context. Because obviously I know your mom is going through some stuff. So I did not mean I did not mean to mix in your mom joke with your mom. Obviously, I wish her well. Hopefully she is recovering much faster and better. So forget everything I just said about your mom. I did not mean it in your personal circumstance, obviously. Low Base, you said, I spent the entire day yesterday migrating the bots. Thank God. I would have felt even worse if you were like, anyways, I spent the entire day yesterday migrating the bots database to a new platform, something centralized and more powerful. Interesting. I could not even tell you what that means because I don't know the first thing about like any of these kind of like coding or tech or related stuff. Is this something, are you talking about something to do with AWS? That's as far as my knowledge goes. Is this something, I see it, you shifted from AWS to something, right? Who knows, right? But centralized, I do understand the power of centralizing things, so I'm assuming it's a bit more streamlined, so maybe in that sense it's getting faster, more efficient. I don't know. I am not offended. I have a sense of humor. For sure. I mean, listen, if you got offended, it's not like I would feel actually bad in the sense that I did something wrong. It would just been like it's insensitive in that I forgot your personal context, and I wouldn't want you to feel badly because it makes you think of something that a joke shouldn't necessarily make you think of. So anyways, it's in that context I mean it. But yes, I love having a sense of humor. I do like dry and dark humor. This one just got a little bit darker than intended. Not sure if you saw my message though. You have to re-authenticate the bot. Your settings will all stay the same, but a new token has to be generated. It just takes 5 seconds if you go to this link. Okay, let me do that. I did not see your message. I've been away from the computer for quite some time. So okay, I open this up. I have to authorize with Twitch. Okay, so it's doing a bit of a redirect thing. But also I updated to the new Mac, do they call it Mac Tahoe or whatever this new liquid glass thing is, and it like disconnected a bunch of my stuff. Super annoying. Oh my god, that's refreshing. It said enrollment failed. An error occurred. Error. I hate the RR sounds, like rural. An error occurred during enrollment. Please try again. Okay. Should I try again, low bass, or is this one of those I have to wait a bit? Nico, you said, I sent the photos on Discord. I would really love to hear your opinion on them. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and check out the Discord. And thank you for contributing to the Discord. And then let me message to Photo Elite. Yes, I saw his video. Looks like all the brands doing some real work in film cinema. I'm excited. Okay, let's check out your photo, and then low bass, let me know. Oh, hey, Photo Elite, you're here. Sorry, I didn't know you're here. I just saw your message in the Hangout chat. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, Photo. I actually did watch Gerald's video on the Canon, is it C50? And it seems like he had a lot of positive things to say, which was quite interesting because obviously that world is so beyond me in terms of the true power of a cinema camera at that price point. But then I saw a different video from someone who's a bit snarkier. He didn't have much good things to say about any of the brands, to be fair. But he seemed to really shit on that Canon C50. So I don't know. But I feel like Gerald seems to be much more, not to say the other guy's biased, but he seems very, very unbiased, honest, and very technically sound. So I do trust whatever he says a lot more. Okay, Nico, I'm going to check out your photos. Lil Bass, he said, yeah, there's something I've been trying to fix. You don't need to do it now. I'll let you know. No worries. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so we're going to go check out some of these photos. Oh, Photo Elite, by the way, we had a successful photo shoot. The corporate event photo shoot, I mean, that's a bit more cookie cutter for me. So it was just like, you do your thing, you get paid, feels good. And then they asked, you know what was a cool feeling is I have a little clause where it's like, if you request additional hours on site, then I charge like, I think it's like $300 per hour. And so they requested a few extra hours. So yeah, it was nice to have a few more dollars, in my pocket from just doing a bit of the usual stuff for me. And then today was a full day doing a fashion. I say fashion, it wasn't a true fashion. It was a e-commerce product catalog type of a shoot for a friend of mine who she and her brother, is that right? Her and her brother, whatever the right grammar is, they started a golf clothing line, like a clothing brand line, and it's really good. Like the amount of thought put into it, the details, the quality. And so I basically was hired as the photographer, and it was my first time doing this kind of like a actual proper photo shoot in a rented studio and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good challenge for me, and the photos turned out epic. I think the photos turned out really, really good. I mean, it sold because also the models did a good job. They were professionals. I didn't have to say anything. These models, the moment the flash goes off, they would just keep switching all the poses in every angle, and they look good in every angle. And obviously the quality is fantastic. So yeah, anyways, so that was a full day thing, and I'm back. So thank you very much again, Photo. I did take your advice to consideration. I followed it. So I was shooting mostly in the f8 aperture, and then I switched over to f11 for a bit. We used a 2-light system, and then I had a rim hair. Actually, it was more like a hair light and a reflector. But it's like nothing crazy. Like none of the photos would be anything you'd be like, wow, this is really artistic. It was mostly meant to be corporate-y, for a website. So, but I was happy. I was proud of myself, and it was a good shoot. Okay, anyways, what were we saying here for a few minutes? How did yesterday go? Yeah, so it was 2 days ago, and then the clothing shoot was today. So I just got back a couple hours ago. Nico, I apologize. I'm going to get to your photos. I see it in front of me. Oh my, and by the way, these photos are awesome. So give me a second as I open it up in a separate link here. And then let me respond to a question as I go ahead and do that. Photo, you said Gerald is more balanced in his opinion and backs it up with facts and tests instead of just rage. Yeah, the other guy, I kind of liked his sense of humor. Very dry. A little bit, he will, I forget the guy's name. He's like a smaller YouTuber, but like, like a decent size, whatever. But anyways, he was just a bit more dry and then a little bit extensive with his running jokes. But I appreciate the amount of effort he puts into all of that. That's how an e-commerce shoot is supposed to go. Is this where all the legends are hiding? Hey, what's up, F Mead? We are all legends here. Yes, the legends. Give me a second. We're now going to check out another legend. Nico has shared a few photos in our Discord, and I want to go ahead and open it up so we can go check it out in full, because I only see it in a little tiny thumbnail. So let's go ahead and do it some justice here. Okay. All right. So hopefully you guys can see it, making sure I'm not being an idiot and not sharing my screen. All right, we're in a good spot. Yo, okay, so this is the first photo I saw, and I think this is super cool. I'm trying to think how you got this shot. I'm assuming you were in a parallel car, obviously. And let's try to take a guess what your shutter speed was for this. I'm gonna guess, was it like I don't freaking know, because the thing is, everything's at quick motion, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a super long shutter speed. Was this like a 1 second shutter speed or something? I have no idea. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of these kinds of shots, like very artistic, a lot of like low light, light streaks and motion blur, stuff like that. So this is super cool, man. Yeah. Not much more to say on this. I feel like, yeah, what movie am I thinking of? I guess maybe like Tokyo Drift or something. The Fast and the Furious. Yeah, Fast and the Furious vibes for sure. F-Me, you're guessing 1/5 shutter with a car doing donuts around the shooter. Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. I thought Nico, maybe you're like in a tunnel and you just happen to catch the car behind you and you're like in the back seat or something. But you know what? This does kind of give a donut shot for sure. But then like to have all this motion in the background here, I feel like he was also in motion. I feel like both subjects had to be moving, right? Or maybe, actually, I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. I don't have enough experience with this. Photo, you said it's not supposed to be flashy artistic, but clean and indistinguishable from the multitude of others out there for e-commerce. Good point. And by the way, they shared some really good compliments with me, but they're basically like, they took inspiration from Ralph Lauren. Is that how you pronounce it? And so they had a beige backdrop and they had some photos as inspiration. And he was like, these are better than the shots taken by Ralph Lauren. And again, I didn't necessarily do anything crazy. it's, and I was trying to let them know, it's like, it's because you guys put so much work to make the job easy. You sent over a brief that had all the inspiration shots that you wanted, so then all I had to do was try to mimic it. But yeah, either way, it was high praise. They're happy. So when the clients are happy, obviously I'm happy. Nico says it was 1/4. Wow, F-Mead, look at you, expert over here. You're off but close. It was 1/4, I think, and I moved the camera with the car. You moved the camera, yeah. But then, do you know, Nico? Obviously, you know. But could you explain? Were both cars driving straight and like forward on the road, or is this more like what F-Mead was saying? Was this like a donut, and like you were in a car, but then the car was trying to this car in the shot, was it like circling around you, like doing a donut? Or yeah, like what is the context? Either way, it's a really, really cool shot. So thank you very much for sharing that. Do you post this anywhere, Nico? Are you like on Instagram or one of those other things? If you are, feel free to put it into the Discord, and we'll make sure to follow you, whether it's now or after the stream or whenever. In the meantime, let's check out the other photo. And super cool. So such different vibes. Although, you know what? You've spoiled us, Nico, with this shot. Because now I'm wondering, what could this look like if you did a motion blur, like, you know, long exposure in this kind of setting as well. It could be quite interesting, I imagine. But yeah, super cool. Super cool. And especially in this low light. I like the low angle. Wow. So is this like a... Where is this? Is this like somewhere in Europe? I'm trying to guess based on this little castle here. It feels like it's a Spain thing, you know? But yeah, either way, super cool shot. I like the angle here. Just makes them larger than life. And it's kind of cool to even think that someone was doing a concert in front of this fortress castle thing. So very, very cool stuff. Thank you very much. This is I've lost count. This week I feel like I had a bunch of chats with people talking about like doing concert photography and filmmaking and stuff like that. So yeah, very, very inspirational stuff for sure. But thank you very much for sharing this. Epic. I feel ready to like take some new photos myself. Isn't that right, Kimpop? Are you still in a... Is Kimpop still in a food coma? Let me try to do the cat claw without looking. I believe based on the shadow and where my hand is, I should be positioned correctly. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Shit. Wow. I was off by quite a bit there. My bad. My bad. That's your leg. Let me try it one more time. Yes. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me try to gauge it from here. So, I think this should be the right placement. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Yo, my hand-eye coordination is like... Yeah. Whatever. Good boy. Good boy. Oh yeah, we did do some things to the lighting, by the way. So I'm testing a few things. So obviously, background behind me is very, very blue. I need to figure out a way to light my guitar over here, but I need to find a stronger light source. But yeah, I need to find something to light up my guitar so it doesn't just look like a long, dark shadow. And then in the back room, I have like a lamp that's got one of those RGB colors to it. However, it's not a very powerful light, as you guys can see. So let me see. I can remote control this one. I was trying to make it a bit more purple compared to... Yeah, it's such a... Damn. Okay, I need a more powerful light for the background. So we're still working through stuff, okay? But I figure we'll keep improving the way the lighting and everything is set up. And I do have to make my next YouTube video very soon. So we're going to do a video where, I say unfortunately, but we'll do a video where the mic is in the shot and I'm talking straight to the camera, being like, hello guys, we're here to talk about the Nikon ZR. How cool is it? Oh my God, let's get started. That kind of stuff. So anyways, and that's technically what I'm supposed to be working on right now, but we're a bit distracted. Today was such an exhausting day. I kind of am viewing this stream as a detox, to be honest. Photo, you said it's called a Dutch angle. Oh, I learned that word not too long ago. The hero shot makes the person look larger than life. It's a really nice concert shot. Gotcha. The way, based on my line of work, I think of it more for the elephant shot is what I would say. So true, same thing. It's about making things larger than life. But for me, that's like the epic when you take a shot of an elephant up close, and when you do it as low as possible, so you can get that really crazy, view of one of the most massive animals looking even more massive, right? So leaning into it. The elephant shot, we'll call it. The Ellie shot. The Ellie angle. But yeah, I can totally see how it works for the concerts. Nico, you said, I was at the sidewalk and I was trying to move the camera with the car. The second photo is at an old mansion the city does concerts in. Oh, okay, wait. I was at this sidewalk. So you weren't even in a car. You were just literally... Wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Well, that's a super, super epic shot, so thank you for sharing. Kristen, hello, hello. I feel like it's been a while, but not really. I think you were here just not too long ago, but I've also taken a few days off here and there. We had a couple back-to-back photo shoots. So I just finished a full day photo shoot today. And so I got back a couple hours ago. I decided let's do a stream today, even if we're not productive, just to catch up because it's been a few days. But thank you for being here, Kristen. I didn't mention you in particular, Kristen, but I was just chatting with someone about what I've been up to, and I was talking about my live streaming journey and how much I've really enjoyed doing the live streams. But it will never get old or less surprising that people are willing to watch my streams. And because we were chatting about like, okay, who watches your streams? And it's like, okay, so based on the fact that you spend your time doing photos and video editing and traveling stuff, maybe it's like fellow photographers, videographers, which is true. But then it is really cool to know that people who have either zero interest in it or are not necessarily in that space still find value in tuning into these streams. So I definitely thought of you amongst others of people who are, who appreciate the streams, who join in, and they're not necessarily joining in because they are experts as, I don't know, photography or stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that we are diversifying, or we have a nice variety of people who have been enjoying the past 2 months of me streaming. And it definitely motivates me to keep doing a good job, right? And doing all kinds of fun stuff together. And it's probably the cats. Oh, wait, why does he look so cartoonish right now? Oh, is that pose? Okay. The way he looked from a small screen, I was like, yo, what are you doing over there? Kristen said, it has been a while. I've been working during your live streams. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I feel like, because obviously we caught up once I came back. And then, it's just been so hectic. And I haven't been doing very long streams, to be honest. Or, it's been, like maybe 3-hour streams each time. So, yeah, it's harder to catch everyone throughout. I'm very excited to get back to doing, 7 to 8 hour streams on the regular. It's just... bear with me for at least one more week as I hopefully catch up on everything. So what I haven't decided is if I'm going to spend any of the time on stream going over the clothing photo shoot that I just finished. For 2 reasons. One, I don't know if the brand would want me to. I mean, there's no harm because if I, they're kind of in the prove it mode. So the more people follow their Instagram, the better. So I feel like I will still shout them out anyways. However, it's also like the shots that I took, are they really that epic? Because they're not. These are, they're like, I say boring, but it's just like, there's nothing creative to the shots that I took. It's just the models looking at the camera, doing a bunch of poses as I take the shots. But maybe even from a learning sense, maybe we can spend some time on streams going through some of those photos. It's not on this Mac Studio, so I have to port it over anyways. But yeah, maybe we'll do that over the upcoming streams. Kristen, you said, I think one was only 2 hours because I scrolled through a bit to see what you've been working on. Yeah, we literally just like 2-3 hours here and there. Just because, yeah, since we took the past 2 weeks off, it's, as you can imagine, I need a lot of catch-up time to do all the other stuff I need to do. With that said, one of the things that I have been working on is the product review. So we have the full script done. Now I just need to kind of go through all the footages that we took with the Z9, not the Z9, the ZR, and start highlighting which of these shots are the best to show in our product review. So the key things will be any of the shots that highlight the dynamic range. So, when we see this amazing capturing of colors, from everything ranging from shots like in the very, very dark areas, excuse me, to like when it's super bright. So any shots where you see that very, very wide range of lighting condition and it's captured nicely, I do want to pick those shots out and filter through them So like even stuff like this, right? Although unfortunately I was quite blurry on the entirety of it. Anytime we can see like, yo, we got, you know, a shot where you're staring directly into the sun, but you're able to see the details of the subject in between you and the sun. Now, if only I had been in focus, but it's not the camera's fault. I just happened to try to turn on the camera real quick and take a footage. Stuff like this, yeah, so we're going to look through. And then also things like this where clearly I shot with the pretty high ISO. Now, I don't actually know what ISO I shot with, so we're going to do a fun little, like, you know, exercise of kind of going through and double checking them. But yeah, this is basically what I'm going to focus on for the rest of this stream, is just let's get through some more footages. And if I get bored of this, I do need to get through as much of my Japan photos as possible. I really, really, really need to get through these photos because I need to put a new page on my website, and I need to start promoting this trip. So, for instance, I'm traveling to Japan in February, the beginning of February, for about 9 days. It's going to be a group trip. So all these photos you see, I'm looking to replicate this magic. We're going to be going throughout Hokkaido and photographing the red-crowned cranes, the red foxes, the stellar sea eagles, the Izo Momonga dwarf flying squirrels in the forest, the white-tailed fish eagles, the Blackiston owl. What else? Normal squirrels, Shika deer. So anyways, it's going to be a fun trip. However, I need to start promoting, advertising, all that kind of stuff. So I do need to catch up on all of these photos. And I'm only on, this is only day 2 of like the 2 weeks that I took to travel to Japan earlier this year. So I need to hustle my ass here. But yeah, look at this photo. I think this is one of my favorite ones that we were editing prior to my 2-week hiatus. Yo, what's up, Eric? I'm happy to be back here. Well, thank you very much, Eric. Thank you for being here. I was out for the past 3 days or so with some photo shoots, so it's good to be back and yeah, catch up with everyone. The bird shots are really awesome. I remember wondering if you were using past clips. The bird shots. Oh wait, are you talking about the ones we were just looking at? Probably. Yeah, these ones. No, these are all. So there's no cheating here. All of these shots are from the same trip, about 3 days that I spent shooting with the Nikon ZR. So yes, we don't do any copying from, or I don't know, stock footages or mixing it with other travels. These are all from the same trip. And then, okay, what I want to do, let me do something on the other screen because it's open over there. I need to find, this is from the first day. So let me go into this hard drive here. Videos. I'm assuming this is from the first day. Let me see. Does it say? August 29th. Okay. Let me just open this guy up. And then I'll bring it over to the other screen. Basically, I just want to find that this footage. This is the... Oh, wrong way. DSC 0341. So let me look for 03. Must be towards the end of the day. 0341. Here it is. And let's look at the image info. So this was shot at 3200 ISO. I think I was testing a few things. Even though the two base ISOs are 6400 and 800, I was trying, I think, the low end of the high base ISO. So I believe that was 3200 because my assumption, I believed that perhaps the dynamic range in the shadows would be much better at that range. I believe something to that effect. I was looking at the dynamic ranges at the different ISOs. So this was at 3200 at 4.5 aperture. Wait, is this the right shot? No, this one. Okay, what did I just do? I hit a button. I hate when this happens. Okay. So here there's a lot of noise, but the dynamic range is quite good. Like it doesn't seem overblown even when the sun is reflecting off the water. So that's kind of cool. But I'm not smart enough or well experienced enough in this area to really say what's what. But thank you very much. Yeah, I'm assuming this is the bird shot you were talking about. Okay, so what do we want to do? Firstly, let's go through and see if I had if I converted everything properly. Okay, that's good. Okay, these are good. Oh, and these ones I started color coding as well, but I didn't finish. So we have a lot of work to do, guys. This is the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, we got through these ones. We got through the behind the scenes. Z8, Z63. I think these ones are all done. Yeah. And I'll say this again, since we're looking at this shot right now. I think this is a very, very beautifully designed camera. Now, do I think all of the functionalities are properly done? I don't think so. I think, not properly done. I'm not a fan of a few things. One is the power button. I like how quickly this camera turns on. You literally press the button and boom, it's on like instantly. And to me, that's fantastic because that limits or it reduces the chances of you missing a shot just from waiting for your camera to power on, which I think some cameras do have some struggle with that. And in my limited experience with the camera, it seemed like it was laser fast. I like these microphones. Like there are microphones all throughout the camera. I think there are like 5 different ports or like 5 different microphones throughout the top, sides, whatever of the cameras. So it does have this kind of like omnidirectional mode, and it has the ability for you to choose which microphones you want to use for your shot. I think only when you're shooting not in RAW, and then in RAW, I'm not sure what it uses, but maybe it uses all of them. I have no idea. I like this the zoom rocker, the power zoom rocker. Actually, I found it really easy to use, and even when you're not using a power zoom lens, it lets you punch in and out of your shots super, super easily. So in the past, if I'm shooting, I would have to use my thumb to like press one of my shortcut buttons to zoom in on the shot, like magnify 100%. So then I have a better sense of like, is the image sharp? But it's always annoying because then when I press the button one more time to zoom back out, you're shaking the camera every time you press that button. And so you might move your focus a little bit or anything else. With this zoom rocker to punch in and out, it's like I have much more, I have a much more stabilized way for me to quickly check to see if my shot is sharp without me having to like necessarily end up shaking myself or like moving the camera too much. So I really find this functionality of the power zoom rocker to be really, really good. And of course, as we mentioned, this is the digital shoe mount now. So, you know, welcome to the 21st century, Nikon. It seems like they were the last of them to jump into that world, where now if you have an accompanying accessory, it can communicate without necessarily needing a cable that's connecting to your camera. The 3 buttons here, they're easy to reach. I don't mind them. It's just I had some issues with the profiles. So for instance, I was trying to set them up so that I could switch between profiles. I like, you know, switching between like a few different custom power banks. Photo, you said time for me to go. Chat later. I'm on vacation. Hells yeah. I'm on vacation for a few weeks in Texas, so I'll be around sporadically. Well, thank you very much for tuning in on your vacation. And thanks for being here. But yeah, enjoy your travels, enjoy your vacation in Texas in the summer. Yeah. As someone from Arizona, I'm like, ooh, Texas is not that much different in terms of the weather. But yeah, enjoy. So yeah, one thing I found, which I think was a bug, is that there are 4 different user profiles you can choose between while you're shooting. And that's always really important for the type of shoots that I do, because that way I can just program 4 different custom settings for 4 different types of shooting environments I might find myself in. And so you imagine for like travel purposes, maybe you'll need one for wildlife at 4K 120 frames per second. So it's like, oh shoot, there's a bird, and maybe I want one of the settings to be like, anytime there's a bird and I need to capture as quick as possible, well, let me quickly switch to that profile, which will then automatically choose bird subject detection. It'll have 4K 120 frames per second as the designated settings, and then boom, I'm ready to film missed no shots. And then all of a sudden, the next moment, there's I don't know, a tiger walking on the jungle forest. So then it's like, oh, let me quickly, instead of having to adjust all the settings, let me just choose profile number 2 that might be set to 6K 60 frames per second. Because maybe it's like, okay, I don't have to capture 120 frames on this one. 6K 60 should be enough. And then I want it to not be on bird subject detection. I just want it on general animal subject detection. And who knows what other changes I want. The ability to switch between those profiles is super, super necessary. This camera has that option, but then when I was trying to switch between it and like customize all of the settings that I wanted in terms of the, do I want it shoot in raw red codec? I want it at, you know, animal subject, this, and that. A bunch of the options weren't allowed for me to change. So I think that was either a bug or it should be something that can be fixed as a firmware update. So that's one thing I wish I had access to be able to switch between everything super quickly. But otherwise, the buttons on the top are pretty nice. The issue I had was more with the small rig. So I was, they gave me a small rig cage that I could attach to this when I was testing out with like an Atomos and a few other things. And the issue I had with the small rig is that it felt like it was blocking some of the buttons in a way. It's not like actually blocking it, but it's close enough to those buttons that I found it a little bit difficult while you're holding the camera to move with your index finger to like get to those buttons without brushing up against the cage. So I think the design of the small rig cage unfortunately needs some work, in my opinion, but I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful camera. And also, it was a little bit jarring for me to get used to the fact that this camera does not have an EVF. So it doesn't have that viewfinder for your eye. So the number of times I would, you know, put the camera as if I was about to look through the piece and it's not there. So that's a bit of muscle memory. Would I like that viewfinder? Yes. Generally speaking, I do like that viewfinder. However, obviously by not having it, it allowed them to chop the size of the camera quite significantly. So it's a thinner profile. It fits in the camera back so much more easily. It's already lightweight. So I don't know, just everything about this camera is like, wow, it's so powerful and it feels almost impossible given the lightweight size, everything, compact nature of this camera. Okay, we've been glazing this camera while looking at it from this point of view for quite some time. And the ZR, I do like that. One thing initially though I was thinking is like there isn't anywhere except on the back of the camera monitor where you see Z, like Nikon and the red naming. So like you won't see, you know, Nikon red anywhere else, just on the back side of this display. Which, I mean, it's like, does it really matter? No. And it does look nice when you see it. But yeah, I don't know. Just some random thoughts. Okay, anyways. Let's keep looking at the other timelines, make sure I've gone through everything. Okay. Okay, so we're good. Now let's go jump back to over here. Is this the right one? Where do we end off? Okay, let's just fix this one real quick because that's easy enough. Let's just grab all of these. Let's go to our power grades and boom. Man, I really wish we were able to try out the PMI Smoke Ninja haze. So here you can see we were trying. But the problem is, again, where we ended up shooting for this, there was, it was like semi-open to the world. So the wind would keep kicking in. The whole right side of this is like a tent flap. So the air would cycle in and push out all the smoke immediately. So yeah, it was good in the mind, not good in reality. Okay, with all of that said, let's go through these photos, or these footages now. Let's see which ones of these we should be using. We're going to do kind of a speed run, so let's just kind of see which ones kind of do a good job of showing the different features of the camera. So this one maybe, because if I remember, this one has crazy audio. So let's test it out. Hopefully it doesn't screech into the ear. Let me drop it. Okay, it might be a little too loud, so let's drop it a bit more. Okay, I think we have better examples though, because like unfortunately the shot itself is not the best, because it was unexpected. I wasn't prepared properly, but also we were shooting into this direction where you have all the fencing, um, so it's just not as pretty of a shot. So ideally, we can use the ones that A have good audio, but then B have a better visual to represent it. Let's just see how the sound is on like normal walking shots. Here, let's play from here. And then low bass, you said, sorry to keep derailing stream. Not at all, man. But this is why we beta test. Can you try it one more time when you have a second? Yeah, let me go ahead and play this out so we can listen to the audio. And then let me try this on the side. Hey, Nala. Ah. Wow. Okay, it's saying redirecting low bass, but it's been on that for a while, so I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. Enrollment successful. The TWCC bot has been added. Cool. Okay, I think it's set up low bass. Unless I have to do a few other things. Let me know. I mean, thank you, low bass. I appreciate it. Okay, so again, same thing. This is kind of a boring shot. So let's get some chimps in the action. Let's see if this is good. I'm so glad I don't get terrified easily. I mean, I'm sure I do, just maybe not in the orthodox way, if that makes sense. Because like I'm looking at this, I'm like wondering. I can see someone else. I think a normal person would see this, and when it did that little last second, looks at me and then kind of comes up like that, it could be a little bit hair raising or heart racing moment. I don't think I even recognized it in the moment, but that was a cool shot. So I think here, and then bzunk, and thankfully it's fairly in focus, which is kind of cool. It seems like the focus stayed on decently. And then I must have dropped down, yeah. Okay, cool shot. I'm not sure to what extent we'll use it. Audio's fine though, for what it's worth. But I need a bit more fluctuation in the audio. why did this chimp decide to chill right next to me? I mean, not that I'm complaining. I feel honored. Oh, this could be a good example actually, because then you hear the normal ambient sound, and then you're hearing the chimps in the distance, and then you're hearing his voice as well. So there's like a few omnipresent shots or audio, right? Close up, far away, mid range. And then the question is, if I push the audio, how much can I push it? Let's see. Oh yeah, but then that's one thing is like those birds. There's no way for me to isolate the sound. That's good from yeah, so okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind, I guess. It's not like having 32-bit float audio means all of a sudden magically your audio is always going to be perfect, in the sense that like since you still have like a single audio track, or like I guess if you shoot in stereo, but still it's not like you can isolate out the sound of the birds chirping from a human voice, from any other number of sounds, as far as I know. Maybe the technology exists and I'm not aware of it. That would be nice if you could isolate them out. So then you can, let's say in this case, I would want the birds chirping to be much lower, but I still want to retain his voice to be much louder. But yeah, that's someone who knows what they're doing can maybe explain. Let's see what's reasonable. So I think. There's one of the gyms that's good from South Sudan. Okay, okay. Let's keep seeing if there's better shots.
Which one?
Right hand.
Kristen, you said I have bone conducting headphones and it sounds surround sound. Interesting. I think I am in stereo mode. Let me check. How do I check? I updated my DaVinci. Change track. I believe because it says 2.0. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it is technically in stereo mode. So I believe when you're listening to the audio, it should be feeling like a bit of surround sound for this ambient, I believe. Which is kind of cool. And like I wish I could just export my videos in surround sound properly. Is it possible? I guess so. Maybe I should double check. Cuz like especially in these like nature shots, it is cool to hear when the chimp comes closer to you. Maybe it's on the left side, it moves off to the right.
Not allowing this other one to get in the nuts. It's the hand. But healed quite nicely. She still has a bit of a digit in there, one phalange, so she's still able to hold the bowl with it as well.
The bowl, can you remove your back?
Yeah, this one.
That one's Billy. Christine said, and I also love the bird sound loud, especially with the bone conducting headphones. So it is like being there with how loud the birds are. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. I have so much footage, but the problem is you'll hear people's voices through and through. If I could just like somehow see how much sound I have, like pure quality sound, that we can use for soundtracks later or things like that. Yeah. That's part of the reason why if you dig into my YouTube channel, you'll see I have a playlist of like the wildlife in 4K, and all I do is have as much footage that I have of the wildlife in slow motion and nothing besides seeing slow motion nice cinematic shots of the wildlife plus some kind of background relaxing music. And the more I have of like that kind of uninterrupted nice clean shots of the wildlife, the better. And I would like to do the same with the audio. So it's like if I have as much uninterrupted, beautiful sounds of nature, and you can make a whole kind of like album out of that sound and use it for future things, that'd be nice. But it's tough on the audio side to. That could be a good one because you can hear the chewing of the chimp. Let me try it again. Let's bring it up a bit. I'm assuming I was using a shotgun mic for this. Yeah, I think that's a good one. And to your point, Kristen, there was some nice bird chirping that I think is worth. Okay, so let me highlight this one. And I heard my cat meowing. Is that what you're talking about? Let me see what you said. Yes, I did hear sound travel from one side to the other. Nice, nice. Nala just pissed off Kimpop. She does that all the time. Did she kick him out of the... Kimpop, are you pissed? Nala, where are you? Ah, good girl. Good girl. All right, we'll take a cat break real quick. He does look kind of grumpy now. What the hell did Nala do? Yo, Nala, what'd you do? Oh, we got a little bit more light on him. I did put a little mini cheap light pointed towards the cat bed. So, good boy. What a good boy. Yeah, you shed way too much, buddy. But we love you still. She was being nice, grooming him. Oh, I missed that whole thing. Oh yeah, that's nice. You guys have that really cool shot. Nice. See, the cat camera serves a purpose at all times. She was being nice, grooming him, and he wanted no part of it. Usually Kimbap is pretty tolerant of those behaviors. It's usually Nala, to be, if I'm being honest. She'll do a nice job grooming him, and then out of nowhere, she'll go from like licking him to then just like biting him for God knows what reason. So obviously that pisses off Kimbap, and then he's like, yo, get away from me. But you know, cats do what cats do. I wish I had two cats that loved each other so much that they cuddle together and make like a perfect circle. These are not the cats that will do that. So you live with what you got. Let's keep listening. Too much motion.
BTS.
Oh, what was that? Oh man, I almost dropped this glass because I've been holding this heavy camera with a heavy lens all day, and so just like gripping it the whole time, I just realized my muscles are done for. Jesus. Okay, that would have been really bad if I dropped and shattered or spilled all over this desk. Oh, here we go. Hootin' and hollering. As much as I like these audio, one of the issues I have is I need audio where there's screeching in front of the microphone, because that's the only way to truly show to people that the audio does not clip as you would expect it to. So I will bring this over. However, I think there are better shots that we need to use. These are all audio based, is that right?
Usually stays outside.
Yeah, okay, so these are all the audio examples. No. What do we... No, this is the codec one. So then the second piece was the audio. Yeah, okay. So let me drag this over. And let's actually see if we got good audio so far. It's going to get loud here. I mean, that's pretty epic, you know? A little terrifying, I'm sure, but pretty epic. Again, you know what? I don't think I felt terrified at all. And this is not to act as if like I'm some brave soul or something. I literally just think that when I'm in the moment where I'm like filming, my brain shuts off everything except for like trying to focus on the shot. So like literally, if there was a lion charging from a distance coming straight towards me, assuming I'm in a car, actually, okay, yeah, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a full-on idiot. But assuming I was in a car and I trusted the car to back up and drive away, I would probably just end up staying outside of the car or whatever, like pointing and shooting the whole time, even as the lion tries to jump at us. Just because like my brain does not have the capacity to think beyond trying to shoot this moment. So yeah, honestly, I could not even feel any emotion besides like intense focus. That is a good shot. Okay, so in terms of audio, I feel like that's a good example to show. We'll find some other contenders though. So let's see. I think that's the last of them from this section. So let's jump to, what is this? 4K 120. There might not be some good options here compared to the 6K 60 we'll get to. Let's check it out.
I'm assuming he'll come back.
Beautiful, beautiful shots. Look at that.
Let's walk away.
Beautiful, beautiful. Still beautiful. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, and the freaking wind. Jesus. I'm so annoyed because this was such a avoidable mistake. The fact that we couldn't find the wind muff or the dead cat for the shotgun mic until the last day, that just meant that it was in the bag and we just happened to not see it, whatever, for freaking the whole trip. And that would have at least given us clean audio more often and for me to be able to continually test the audio quality. But, you know, what can you do? You can't be perfect. Low Base, he said, that's what we're going to etch on your tombstone. He got the shot. Yeah, he died doing what he loved. Yeah, being eaten alive by a bear, but not letting go of the record button. It used to be the shutter button, but now I guess we're more video side of things. But yeah. And what a way to go, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, these are a little bit too boring shots, so I think none of this is usable, especially I'm assuming it's really windy at times, but let's look for maybe some good examples of like dynamic range, maybe some action 4K 120 stuff. Let's see if this is good enough. Unfortunately, not good enough. I mean, there's some moments here that could be nice in slow motion, but I only caught at the end. Yeah, it was only good for a few seconds. I didn't have the... This is the first day, and I didn't have any of the settings dialed in for, like, a bird and, like, having fast autofocus. So... This is the problem when you only have 3 days to shoot. I wish we had, like, 1 to 2 weeks. But, you know, wishful thinking. Okay, this might be one of the shots. Oh yeah, okay. So this is one of the shots I do want to showcase, most likely, because I think it does a good. It's a good example of showing how the dynamic range of this camera is pretty good, right? Because like I'm shooting directly against the sun with a clean, you know, clear sky, but it doesn't feel like it's pure white, even though it is obviously super bright and everything. But like, let's see how much we can bring back from a broad daylight exposed lighting, and then here when you see the lake pop in, I feel like the colors are nice. It's clean, you know, it's very pastel-y, but this was super bright. This must have been, I think, like maybe 3 p.m., 4 p.m., just before golden hour, so it's still pretty like bright out, and you're shooting directly against the sun. And then even here you're seeing like really good dynamic range on a white subject with the light bouncing straight off of the white subject. And then here, you know, again, same thing, you're shooting, you see the nice glitter from the sunlight, but it doesn't feel like blindingly bad. And same thing here, you're seeing all this dynamic range. You can even see a little bit just behind the bird here, as the bird's passing like a cloudy area. So the fact that you can even see in the most subtle of ways, it's not that visible, but let's see, can we drop it down a bit? Yeah, we'll drop it down a little bit. Yeah, and it's passing some clouds behind. So that's kind of cool to me. Like, this is to me a really good example of the fact that you can shoot in really crazy bright lighting conditions and still end up with a usable shot, which is not something I could have said in any of the prior iterations. As much as I really love shooting with the Z9, the Z6 III, Z8, I just don't think it could be as powerful as this one was. So let's bring that in. This is for dynamic range, which would be in the first section. Okay. Alright, boring shots. Testing overexposure. Oh, actually, let's see. Because I think if I remember, I tried adjusting the ISO to be super, super bright on this one, just to see if later on am I able to drop it down. Seems like I am. Perfectly though? Let me see. I don't think so. Still not bad. Again, it's not pure white here. You can actually see texture and detail, which is kind of crazy still. But it's a boring ass shot, so let's keep looking. This is a shot we used in our actual documentary film when the two birds were fighting. I did try to put some thought. I hope it was recognizable to anyone who watched the documentary. Oh, Nala, you just bumped your head. Hello, Nala. Were you pissing off your brother? Yes, I was. Good girl. Okay. Let's find our documentary real quick. Where did I save it? Videos, exports. Chimp Island. Nope. All right, let's open up one of these. Okay, so I'm just gonna play a little bit of that documentary. It's been a while since I actually got to check it out. And also, thank you guys, everyone who's watched the video. It's been really cool to see so many nice compliments and like comments. This video that I just posted, it feels like it got a lot of engagement, which is cool. And for good reason. Obviously, it's tied to a new product, so I'm sure a lot of people are like typing in YouTube like, you know, Nikon ZR. And then thankfully the algorithm was actually in my favor this time, and it seems like my video would pop up here and there. So yeah, anyways, it's been really cool to see that it's picked up traction here and there, and to see the number of people who commented on the video, and there hasn't been a single negative comment. Knock on wood, right? But like, not that would I really care if there's a negative comment? No, because it's like, ooh, the more you comment, the better it is for the video. So thank you very much. You know, there could be some really hurtful things, I'm sure, but so far everyone's been positive. Yeah, just all around, everything from the quality of the camera to, I do appreciate anyone who said they enjoyed the story and things like that, obviously. But yeah, I did put a lot of time into like trying to figure out a good storyline for this 5-minute video. And every visual that you see is definitely put there with intent or intention. I'm not sure. Well, let me see if I can show an example since we had that shot. So we went over this before. Interesting. What the hell? Oh, you can drag this down. Okay, nice. We did like a word by word, frame by frame almost, where I just kind of like broke down the voiceover, what dialogue that I put in at the right points, because I had a lot of recordings of Dr. Rakundo, and then it was kind of up to me to figure out how to position which lines of dialogue that he said, which ones to keep in the storytelling, as like in the 5-minute video, and in what order, what does it pertain to, all that kind of stuff. So it was a fun project for me, but I think it all worked out. Hello, Dator. Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you very much for being here, all the way from Germany. Yes, thank you very much. We're just going through this this documentary. I'm still working through the product review. But yeah, we're doing a pretty late night stream today. It's about 8 o'clock my time, but we just got back from like was it like a 10-hour shoot, a photo shoot? So yeah.
Back without leave.
So everything from like when we see some of the dialogue, let's see. So the very, very obvious one here, he's saying, when a chimp approaches you, stay humble. So obviously I'm lining it up with the shot when the chimp is literally approaching me. So I thought that was a more on the nose example. But then also I use some lines where he says like, stay humble, stay calm, because of how close the chimp is to the camera. It could feel a little bit like daunting for anyone who's never seen a wild chimp before, which is most people, to have one in your face like that. It could feel like a heart racing moment. So I thought it was nice if we tie in when he says at one point, stay calm. And then obviously saying you are the guest. So now we're like flipping the script where it's like, you know, it's not that the chimp is intruding on us. It's the fact that we are not supposed to be there and we are the guests. So I thought there were some cool lines there to talk about. And then here about step back without leaving. So literally you're seeing the camera step back, but then we pause for a second here. So we haven't left. So again, I'm maybe it's a little bit autistic or a little bit, I'm not sure what the right phrasing is, but it was fun for me, right? It was very fun to try to see like if every line of dialogue has real intent and is tied to the actual visual as much as possible. So that was a really, really fun challenge. Okay, we won't go through every line. I just want to go through the one where we see the bird. So here, for instance, even this one, I did spend a lot of time thinking about this. Actually, I shot this shot knowing that I wanted to use this shot with the line of dialogue that Dr. Rukunda had said around like balance, right? Because this whole video, if there's an overarching theme, it's a theme about humanity's balance with nature and the wild, right? And so it's like, how do we as humans and humankind survive in a world where, you know, we oftentimes end up having a negative impact on the animals and nature around us. And in order for the survival of all of us, not just us or not just the animals, there is some balance that needs to be sought after and hopefully like identified and, you know, approachable or something that's addressable, right? And so to me, there was a moment where I was filming this bird literally balancing on man-made, this was, I believe, I think this is part of an anchor, which has a lot of like kelp or something growing on it. So there's a mix of like showing nature, wild animal with humankind, right? With this man-made boat. So I thought it was like a perfect shot if I can show this balancing effect. So anyways, this was one of those where I was like, ooh, as I filmed this moment, I was like, I totally see a moment where I can match visual with audio. So anyways, I got super nerdy about this one. And thankfully, I was able to line up the text. Kristen, you said, I appreciated that the visual matched the audio. Well, thank you very much. It was intentional. It was something I tried my best to do with the limited time that I had and the limited audio recordings that I had. Because unfortunately, there was a few moments where, like, if I wanted to do this video better, I would literally almost feel tempted to mail Dr. Rakundo one of my microphones and ask him, like, could you record a number of these new lines, and so that we can go back and I can insert your new dialogue into the right moments. But obviously, you know, not to complain, we had everything worked out. But this is one of those nice ones.
We practice balance so the world can keep its footing.
And then here, it wasn't the cleanest, but I was trying to show a transition from focusing on the bird and then jumping over to the boat. And then here, you can barely, because it's kind of old, but you can see that there's a logo here, a title that says Chimpanzee Trust, which is the name of the entity that oversees the island and the organization. So then that was also a nice moment to then switch over to the little mini title screen where we talk about the location.
Everything here is a lesson in balance.
Yeah, and then same thing. Even this, I was like, okay. As he says, everything here is a lesson in balance. So again, same thing. We're focusing in on a wild kingfisher bird here. And then, you know, as we focus out and focus in on a man-made boat, a human, blah, blah, blah. So like, again, talking about balance. And then I was trying to see if I can mix in some shots that had nothing to do with chimpanzees. So like other animals to show that, you know, in terms of everything, right? I said everything. So it can't just be about showing chimp footages or just showing human footages. It has to show like the other animals that live on the island, that live in the world, that kind of stuff. So conveying that. And then also trying to see if I had shots that feel like it's about balance. So literally you'll see
A lesson in balance.
so obviously a bird floating in midair, so balancing in the sky essentially. And then here I had like an ebbing and flowing, so showing the tide rising and then the tide receding. And then as I zoom out of the shot, so I was zooming in on the previous shot and then zooming out as the water is like drying up on the sands. And then this one was just like one of the monitor lizards that were there and then timing it with the little moment in the music. And then, yeah, anyways, all of this to just point to this shot here. So this is the same shot that we were just looking at. So a moment where these two birds are like fighting. It wasn't like the most obvious or it's not like exactly related to balance per se, but I was just balancing it with the previous shot. So if that makes sense to you guys, because here I showed a shot of the monitor lizard like biting into the air, you know, just like doing this little biting motion. So then I was balancing it with some birds that I shot that were biting each other. So that was the point of the balance there, not necessarily like a broader like nature concept. So whatever. It was we had a tide receding, ebbing and flowing, and then we have this animal biting, and then we had another shot of some animals biting each other. And then this was just a nice little slow motion.
My name is Dr. Joshua Rukundo. I am a wildlife veterinarian, and I've been.
And then I got so much shit from a couple people in the chat because I put the subtitles to the left instead of centered and then moving this. But we are learning, right? So we're learning. Kristen, he said, I'm just a little bummed to not get to see your creative process putting it all together. Yeah, you know what? I was also quite bummed about it, but I am planning to make a behind the scenes video of the making of this video. Or sorry, making like a making of this video. It's just unfortunate that I can't like show in real time the way I would have been able to if this was all done in a live stream. But obviously, given the nature of this being as secretive as it was, I couldn't necessarily do that. I really wish I did, because I put this in line with when we did Mongolia episode 1. That one took us I think it was like 26 days to finish episode 1. Granted, that was like 16, 17 minutes long, a lot more put into it. Whereas this one was done in less than a week, but it's only 5 minutes. I really feel this one is up there with our Mongolia episode 1, where I felt like the amount of butting my head against the wall because I can't figure out how to make sense out of whatever the struggle was, which is like, it could be everything from like having to look at the entire transcript of all the interviews I did with Dr. Rakundo or anytime he was recorded and trying to see, is there any key lines that kind of make sense from all of the things he said? How can we like stitch it together? And what is the video that I play at the same time he mentioned something? And the work that we had to go through to go from like a script that was maybe starting out maybe like 4 times as long and then chopping it down to 3 times as long to 2 times as long to eventually getting a script that fit into a 5-minute video. Yeah, it was like it was very stressful, very chaotic, very confusing. But then every time we ended up with a win, it felt very liberating, or very like rewarding for sure, as we started making all the pieces come together. So yeah, I do want to share it in more detail, but I want to do it in a proper way. But we're not there yet. We're not there. Okay, but it is kind of crazy to see the difference in the shot. So here, I did use the dehancer film effect. So you're seeing a lot more noisy, like grainy shot here. It's because I used some of the dehancer effect, including the halation and the bloom. So you're seeing the birds are somewhat glowing here. So all of this was from our latest product that we're reviewing, dehancer. Which reminds me, I do need to put a video together about dehancer as well. There's just no end to the amount of work we have to do, and not enough time. Who's the other part of the we? You know what? I was hoping... I keep saying we, and it doesn't make sense because it's just me. But like, I say it somewhat not instinctively. I just kind of say it because I like to include you guys into the process, even when it doesn't make sense, because it was just me. So yeah, I keep mixing in me and I and like we. But yeah, it was more the spiritual we, okay? You guys were there in spirit, even without knowing it. But yeah, it was just me. I do want to hire a video editor, and so I've been putting a few more. I've been putting in some time into figuring out how can I search for a YouTube editor or like a video editor. It's not. I haven't figured out the right answer yet, because I am very picky. I know for a fact that I'm very picky with my style of editing and like what I look for. And I know the best editors are super expensive, and I don't necessarily have the money to like necessarily pay at those rates. So I'm trying to put some time and thought into like, how can I put a proposal for potential YouTube editors where I can pay them for like a trial period of a decent rate, but then with the commitment of like, if we both want to keep working with each other, is there an equity model where I can somehow convince a proper YouTube editor to work with me at like a, not a commission, but at like a percentage of whatever earnings would come about from my YouTube channel. But that would require someone to really believe in what I do, because that's a long-term thing, right? It's like, it's not like they're going to expect real money in the coming months. That could be like a, hey, I believe in you enough that I'm going to work with you, and hopefully in the next 6 months or to a year, we get to a position that your YouTube channel has blown up, your live streams are blowing up, And then now, whatever equity or percentage that he makes from any of the earnings from all the YouTube or whatever, that person will get it, right? I think that's a really good model, and it's a very fair model, but it's one that requires someone really believing in you, because it's not fair to them in the beginning days, right? Because, you know, what is 30% or whatever? Well, let's say 50% of $10, right? It's like, really? That's all you're making in that month? Or $20 or $50, $100, until you get to a point where it's like in the thousands. They would probably rather work an hourly rate and make whatever hundreds of dollars per video or something to that effect. I don't know. Sorry, I'm going a little bit long on this, but Kristen said, I'm laughing so hard out loud right now. So we were with you in spirit. I like that. Yeah, I like saying we. There's a part of me that always feels weird. It's not necessarily imposter syndrome. I don't know what to put this under, but like a lot of times I just don't feel like anything that I do, even stuff like when I worked on it myself, it's never like a feeling of only I did it or like I did it on my own. There is this understanding that like everything that I do has come from learning from other people or opportunities other people gave me that lead to, you know, so it's like one of those things where it's not like I did this start to finish on my own with no one supporting me. So it just always feels weird for me to be like, oh yeah, I did this thing or whatever. So yeah, anyways, that's partially why. Anyways, though, this is a cool shot. It is kind of interesting to see the difference in the two shots, though. So if we look at this one now, is that the same thing? Let's see. Let's try to map it. Bite. Bite. Jesus. Bite. Which part did I use? How many times did this bird try to bite? Because I'm not seeing a match up with the shot, so I must have used... Maybe it's one of these? Come on, do it again. Do it again. I dare you. Come on. Okay, wherever. Well, anyways, you can see the difference, though, in the lighting, the colors. Where is it? Oh, okay, here we go. Must be one of these. Yeah. Let's just look at the difference there. So yeah, very, very different look and feel to it. And I really did like how dehancer made my footage feel more unique, right? I wouldn't necessarily, I didn't use dehancer on the entirety of the video. I just used it in moments where I thought it made sense, where like, I don't know how to describe it, but this whole sequence here felt more dreamy, or like there's a whole like poetic line that that Dr. Rakundo says, right? Everything here is lesson in balance, and then the music kind of calms down. So every shot that I showed in this sequence, I wanted to feel like it's part of a single message, and one that felt more, I don't know, poetic or something. So I thought it was more appropriate to do shots that looked very non-natural and kept with this kind of bloomy... Yeah, let's just play it out real quick.
Everything here is a lesson in balance. My name is Dr. Joshua Rukundo. I am a wildlife veterinarian.
And then, yeah, then here I didn't use any of the film look. So now I was going for like... Oh, the other reason I didn't want to use the film look for everything is the problem with using the film look. One, it can look very, very unnatural, right? So like some of the shots I'm doing is meant to be like wildlife, and more natural shots make sense. But then two, I didn't think Nikon would be a fan, nor would I, when some of the things I also want to show was how sharp the image was, or the footage, the clean resolution, things like that. So if I use the dehancer film effect on everything, especially making things look noisy or like whatever, soft or vintagey, I thought that it wouldn't really show or display the real quality of the camera as well. So I needed a good mix between making it very artistic and over the top, and then making things in between that. Kristen, you said we lose out on being a part of that we if you have an editor. True, but then when I say we, it would actually be like you wouldn't be like who's he talking about? It's like, oh, there is an actual person there. No, yeah, it would just be a bigger we. That's all. That's all. Kristen, you said that bird looks like Kimbap a little bit ago. What? What bird are we talking about? Oh wait, is it the plump one? Are you talking about the kingfisher here? I totally see that. We got Nala chilling up on my chair. Jesus. I'm always terrified when she does that because you know at any moment she's going to jump from there to somewhere. Where is she going to go? Where are you trying to go? Oh boy. Here she comes. Nala. Yes. Good girl. But be careful. Oh god. Okay, you know what? I might. Okay, we'll just keep her there for a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm like a little nervous that she's gonna jump onto Kimbap. So maybe what I'll do is I'm gonna push my chair away from that direction, so she's less likely. Sorry, I'm so concentrated trying to move my chair. Okay, without shaking her off. Okay, I think we did a decent enough job. You psychopath, Nala. Oh wait, look at him. Yo, this guy, he has no idea his life is about to be ended by Nala. He's just like chilling like, what's the big deal? Oh god. Hey Nala, be careful. No, Nala. Alright, get down. Come on. Come on. Come on. You have no idea. Come on, Nala. Get down. Get down. Get down, Nala. Good girl. Good girl. Crisis averted. And the way he's looking, it's like he has no idea how close he was to death. It is what it is. No, the bird that was snapping his beak. Ah, okay.
Everything here is a lesson in balance.
The thing is, this bird is too skinny to be Kimbap, but I get it what you mean in terms of the personality type. You don't want her to land on your shoulder. Well, I trimmed her nails, so at the very least it won't hurt, or I won't be bleeding from it, which has happened in the past. Hello, Raiden. How are you? Good to hear from you. Welcome to day 54, no, day 55 of our live stream. We're almost on day 60. That means technically, even though 2 months have passed, we haven't actually streamed for 2 months. So once we hit 60, technically 61, really? Is it August? Whatever. Once we hit 60, we can be like, officially, we've streamed for 2 months. She's been stalking him. I've been watching her go around the cat bed, and she put her paw up at his face at one point. Yeah, she's been doing this weird like copying Kimbap thing. So if Kimbap sleeps on the couch somewhere for a bit or rests there, next moment I'll see that she's in the exact same spot. So I don't know what's going on. She's technically older of the two.
My son told me to buy him a treat from an ice cream truck.
Nice. Learning his words properly. Unless there is an ice cream truck. Maybe, I don't know. In some culture, maybe. F. Mead, sorry if you already said, was it a kingfisher? Oh, yes. The black, I forget the name of this. I should know this because I've had so much time photographing kingfishers. There's like the African kingfisher, but then there's like the Asian one, or the one that I've seen more often in Sri Lanka. Technically, it was in Uganda as well. The blue one that most people kind of, the one that's most people probably have in mind when they think of kingfishers, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I should know this. I should. Kingfisher. Yeah, the blue ones, these ones. So what's the difference here? Oh, what's the name of this one compared to the different type of kingfishers? Is it really called the common kingfisher? That's a shame, because like this one is the one that I think is like one of the most beautiful of the kingfishers. So apparently the one that I think is like one of the more pretty ones. Oh my god, what do I know? Holy shit, there's like... Okay, hold on a second. Okay, we're gonna zoom in on this. There seems to be quite a number of crazy looking kingfishers. So the one that I took a photo of though is the pied kingfisher. So that's one that's all over in Uganda. I took so many photos of like crazy amounts of kingfishers everywhere throughout Uganda. But then there's a belted kingfisher. The common kingfisher I think is very pretty. The collared kingfisher. Yo, all of these are... I didn't know the variety. I apologize. I didn't know your game, kingfisher. I can totally see why people are so obsessed with them, though. They are one of the coolest birds to photograph because it's like a game to most wildlife photographers. Because the game is, when you see a kingfisher near a body of water, it's like about to hunt. And it's always a game to figure out, can you predict the direction it's going to go? And can you actually capture the moment when the kingfisher takes off? And even better, can you capture the moment when it dives into the water and at a nice angle? If you can get that perpendicular shot, that's like the crazy, that's a legendary shot, right? So let's look up kingfisher diving. Yeah. So there's always stories you see about like, oh, wildlife photographer XYZ spent 10 years trying to capture the perfect shot. And it's like those kind of stories, and it's always about the kingfisher. Because like, and you can totally understand why, right? Look at this crazy shot, diving in the water. That's even more insane. Although I just don't trust sometimes when I see these photos. I feel like some of these are staged, right? Unfortunately, that's like the skeptical part of me with some of these award-winning shots. And when I say staged, it could just mean like they set up some bait, knowing that the bird's going to come over, and then they're just setting it like a shot like this. I feel like it must have been done in a big glass tank or something, right? And then other ones, obviously, it's like you can't really stage it. You just have to be patient. So any number of these things is like, that's so insane to be able to capture something as crisp as this shot. Yeah. So anyways, we're kind of going on a tangent here, but the kingfisher is definitely one of the most beautiful birds to try to photograph because it's like so tiny that you need to have real good skills and you need real good camera equipment to be able to capture the quick motion of these birds. Like you blink and it's gone. You blink, it's already taken off. So nowadays with the new technology in the cameras, you have this concept called pre-release. So you can let's say you see the bird take off with your naked eye. By the time the electrons or whatever fire off to your finger to hit the shutter button, the bird's already gone. So they have technology where the moment you press the shutter button, it will record photos that you took from the prior 1 second or sometimes like up to 3 seconds before you hit the shutter. So there's like a memory. It's kind of like, I guess, how Apple's Siri or whatever is like listening in on you and then it deletes it or whatever if you don't use it. I don't know, something to that effect. But it's like before you even hit the shutter button, it's capturing photos for you up to like 1 second or a few seconds before you hit the shutter. That way, when your reflexes are slower than the animal, you can still end up with the perfect shot when it takes off. So there's like cool stuff that technology allows us to do. But these shots are like so tough. Birds are some of the toughest things to photograph, especially the small ones. Raiden, you said, I thought Morgan Freeman was going to say it. You know what? We do need to change our TTS voice. So maybe we'll change it in a second. F me, the electric blue and burnt orange belly. Yeah. Apparently they call that one the common kingfisher, which is like, really? Really? You're going to call that one common? So, yeah, it is what it is. That's AI? No, I do believe most of these are not AI. The only reason I'm saying that is because I remember some of these were shots. I feel like I've seen these shots from 7 years ago or something crazy, right? Before AI became a thing. Because like back in the day when there was less viral kind of content, let's say, when it came to viral wildlife photography shots, I felt like it was always about the kingfisher, or it was one of the top ones. So, because there is something about how everyone's aiming for this shot when you can get a kingfisher diving straight down, perpendicular, and the moment of entry, right? Like the moment the beak breaks the surface, but before it's too late where it causes ripples, and you can get like almost a perfect reflection. You can totally see why this is just like one of those award-winning, rare kind of shots. I say rare, but the weird thing is there's a lot of kingfishers in the world. And you can see them in all these national parks throughout wherever. So in the sense that like, if you are a wildlife photographer going on a safari in India, Sri Lanka, parts of Africa, chances are you are going to see a kingfisher out in the wild. And chances are you're going to see the kingfisher diving into the water. So it's not that rare to see them diving. It's just super rare to have the right positioning and knowing, like predicting where it's going to dive in. Because it's like a game of whack-a-mole. Like you literally just don't know when the kingfisher is going to take off and where across the body of water it's going to dive in. Because you can't see the fish, right? So it's just a guessing game. Okay. We've spoken quite a lot about it. But I speak about it because it is really cool. I really truly feel that these photographers, all of them who are capturing these moments, it is a very skillful act to do that. It is so not easy. So yeah. Anyways, props to all these shots. Maybe some of these are AI. But yeah, my God. Okay. I feel like I can look at so many of these shots. They're so cool. They're so cool. Now the shots that I want are like maybe like a bald eagle diving. It doesn't have to be a bald eagle, but like when I can see one of the big ass eagles. So that's one of the shots that I'm hoping to get in Hokkaido, is the Stellar's sea eagle diving, because I believe the Stellar sea eagle is one of the largest birds of prey in the world. And I would love to see it like do an actual dive trying to catch a fish. Dun, 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 dun. Is Stellar's sea eagle one of the largest birds of prey in the world? Question mark. Stellar sea eagle also has a wingspan of about 8 feet, 2.4 meters. Guinness World Records recognizes this bird as the largest eagle. Okay, so I was like hedging my bets here, but it's actually, according to Guinness Records, 9 of the largest eagles. Okay, now we're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, guys. Let's check this out. Largest eagle by weight is the Stellar sea eagle, weighing 11 to 20 pounds, which is 5 to 9 kilograms. With a wingspan of about 8 feet or 2.4 meters. The harpy eagle. Oh yeah, we were trying to look for the harpy eagle when I was in Colombia this year. I didn't get any good close-up shots or anything. The Philippine eagle is notable for its height. Okay. Let's look at the photos. Oh yes, the golden eagle. We're very keenly familiar with this one if you've been watching my streams, because obviously that is the main subject of our trip to Mongolia. I do want to go to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan as well, but like I believe the golden eagle is more of like a Kazakh tradition, if I'm not mistaken. But there you go. It's got a wingspan of 6 feet, 6 inches. The white-tailed eagle. So this is the other eagle that I was capturing in Japan. So we're shooting. You'll see quite a number of the white-tailed eagle as well as the Stellar sea eagle when you're in Hokkaido. American bald eagle is number 3. I did not realize. Not bad. I have yet to photograph a bald eagle properly. I really want to. I mean, come on, I'm American. I would love to get a shot of the iconic American animal. Oh yeah, so yeah, same thing. The female birds are usually much larger, so it's 25% bigger than the males. Wow. Stellar sea eagle is number 2. Stellar sea eagle also has a wingspan. Yep, we talked about that. Okay, so the Guinness World Record recognizes it as the largest eagle due to its combined wingspan and weight, but it's not number 1. The number 1 is called the Marshall eagle. It's got an average wingspan of about 6 feet 4 inches. Some say it can reach more than 8 feet. Okay. 5 of the largest eagles by weight. The whitetail is number 4. I would love to photograph the Philippine eagle, and the harpy eagle would be really nice as well. Okay. Jesus. All right. You know what? Good enough. Good enough. That one person said it took 6 years to get that shot. Oh, I didn't even read that. Well, yeah, like the first time I saw one of those photos of the like award-winning style kingfisher shots, it was one of those where it's like photographers spent years trying to get the perfect shot. I never know how true that is. Like people can just say that out of their ass, right? But it definitely feels like one of those where it takes a lot of patience, a lot of sorry guys, that blew out my eardrums there. It takes a lot of work and patience. Okay, let's keep looking through the footages.
Could you help me with this one here?
And let's properly color correct this one a bit more. All right, we're gonna do like a standard S curve a bit, and let's check out the footage. This is like a wrestling move, what they're doing right now. In wrestling, we call it the barrel roll. Every time we do this on your opponent, you would get like a certain number of points. It is kind of tough shooting when there's so many subjects in the foreground, midground, background. It's like trying to figure out what to focus on. Because then any moment you're focusing on this subject and then something crazy happens on the area that you're not focusing on. It's like it's just a gamble every time. Kristen, you said apparently there's so many of these kingfishers that this beautiful one is called common, right? There's something it feels almost like an injustice. You know what I mean? Because like, how do you call that thing common? But you do see it everywhere, so it is true. Oh, interesting. Quick pause, because for the first time in a number of days now, if not weeks, I have one of my cats chilling on the second bed. So we technically have her... Wait, I'm trying to move out of the way. Which way? Okay, there we go. You can see it's a little dark, but we got her next to her portrait. So there she is. And there she is. Wow, a little vain much, Nala. And then we've got... unfortunately, you guys can't see it in this angle as much now, but Kimpop is like right here somewhere. So that is one of the things we lost with this like lower camera angle, is that you guys can't see as much from a top-down view of what it's like over here. But I'm surrounded by my cats, and it's a nice feeling. Oh yeah, you can see his ear right there. Can I poke it? Let me see if I can get close. Am I getting close? Oh, okay, I don't want to disturb him. Oh wait, we got a nice angle here. Maybe, you know what? If I can train them to like chill on both beds more often, that means I can have a camera angle that points at both, which would be kind of cool. Let me see. Whatever. It's all in the effort though. Look at these guys. Okay, let's go back. Garvey said, oh yeah, I hear Forest Melody. Oh yeah, is this a song you were asking about earlier? Yes, you are correct. This is the Forest Melody song. You know, shout out to Artlist. They do have quite a number of decent soundtracks that I'm actually a big fan of, even though they're not considered like, you know, something you hear on the radio. Okay, let's keep checking out these footages. I don't know, wait, which timeline is this? Yeah, 4K 120. So I don't know if I have as many good shots in this section. I know for the 6K 60, we should have some really good ones in terms of audio. But let's just go clip by clip, and let me do basic color grading here in terms of just kind of the lighting. Dun, 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 dun. Kristen, you said, I watched your video, how they greet you when you return from a trip. Yeah, you know, I can't say for a fact if all of my upcoming trips that we're going to be posting on my YouTube channel, because obviously we have like, what, 10 to 12 more trips that I need to go through. I can't guarantee that I have footages of my cats each time, but I do try to make it a point, because obviously for me personally, one of the things that makes me most excited about coming home is obviously seeing my cats. So usually I try to film once I open the door to see how they greet me. Usually they don't give a shit. Like they'll come up and they're more curious, but it's not like they go really crazy about like, oh, I miss you so much, that kind of thing. I'm sure they do, I hope, but sometimes they're more loving, sometimes they're just whatever. Or they just want to be fed more than anything. But yeah, it is nice for me. I do like ending a lot of these travels by showing my cats saying hello. It's a nice way to be like, the trip is done, but there's a nice little, like a nice ending to things about something next is positive, which is obviously being reunited with your cats. Garv, you said, I use DaVinci in 2 monitor modes, and it is so great if you are not streaming. I can recommend it to you. Unfortunately, I have 2 monitors only. I have a 3rd monitor, but I just think it's a little bit too much to have 3 monitors. Although I'm now questioning that. Should I? Because I put the 3rd monitor in my bedroom. Because I figured like, oh, maybe I can hook it up to my laptop and I can watch Netflix or whatever as I go to sleep. But I actually haven't ended up doing that as much as I thought I would. So maybe I should bring the 3rd monitor back here. And then I would have 1, 2, maybe a 3rd one on my left side. And then that would make things a bit easier for me in terms of spreading things out. I don't know. It's a good thought. But, yeah. Okay, let's think about it. Right now, we're fine with the 2 monitors. I also need to hook up a teleprompter where my camera is as I do more YouTube videos. And I have one of those Elgato teleprompters where it essentially operates as an extra screen as well. So literally, I could stare right at the camera and I could have a decent size monitor screen that acts as a separate window. So technically, I could have the chat show up on the camera screen. So when I'm reading the chat, I'm looking right at you guys. I personally don't know if that makes sense to do. It feels a little weird if I'm like reading your guys' chat and I'm looking at the camera. I don't know. Personally, I feel like it's a little off-putting. But still, I could put something there, which is nice. So stuff to know or think about. Nico, you said, I sent a hawk I took a shot of at Discord because you were looking at birds and I remember I took this photo. Okay, let's check this out. Checking it out. Thank you for sharing. If you would like to join the Discord, let me go ahead and pop that in there. !Discord. You know, oh yeah. We'll do this for maybe month 3. I want to start doing like viewer call-ins, right? Or like just, I would like to be able to have other streamers or anyone be able to dial in through our Discord. So while I'm streaming, feel free to hop in and then we can have someone, I can have a dialogue. I can actually talk to people, you know, back and forth. Yo, Cyronius. Yo, it's been a while. Has it been a while? Actually, no, you were here before, but I've been away for the past few days. Thank you very much for the epic raid. Holy. You know what, Cyronius, I was just thinking about you when I was talking about this, by the way. I don't know if you just tuned in where I was saying maybe for month 3, I would like to be able to figure out as I learn Discord, having people hop in through like the video or voice calls, right? And whether it's like other streamers like yourself or, you know, just anyone, it'd be really cool to be able to finally have some like dialogue with others. So yeah, Cyrus, I was just thinking about you. I was like, oh yeah. Because I know obviously you helped me out with all the audio stuff and you're a streamer. So thank you very much for the epic raid firstly. And yeah, good to see you. What time is it for you, Cyronius? I'm assuming you're ending the stream because you're off to bed soon or something. You know what? I'm so out of here, so I don't know. Hey all, and yeah, and for sure. Yo, why are you speaking in 2-syllable, 2-word sentences? What the hell's going on here? Oh no, you broke it. Let's plan something. Okay. Garv, you said, I need feedback on my very first trainer for a gaming project. It's in German. Yo, I can't help you with that. Actually, we have Dator in the chat, and Dator is German. I don't know how much you understand, but it's from the optician. Wait, what am I looking at? What are we talking about? It's in 10 minutes. I hope ready to link it. It is now rendering. You lost me. Because now I'm like, wait, are you talking about a doctor? What is an optician? And then what about German? I'm so confused. But good luck to you on whatever this project is. Cyroni said, let's plan something. Hells yeah. 11:45 a.m. Oh, okay. I forgot that. I forgot there's a whole other side of the world where you can do streams in the morning and then do other stuff. Nice. From the optic. Haha, sorry. No worries. Yeah. A trailer. Nice, nice. Feel free to share. Cyroni says, going to shoot an elopement. I thought you said elephant, and I got super excited. And then elopement. Why did I think elopement was a bad thing? What did I think of? I thought you were saying something where like someone runs away, as if they're cheating on someone. Okay, I'm mixing up words here. But an elopement, is that like when you get married to someone without any fanfare? But anyways, you said gotta head back into town. Nice, nice. Well, listen, thank you very much. Again, thank you for rating us. Nico sent a photo in the Discord, so let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and check out this epic photo. So we were talking about birds and eagles and kingfishers. So, oh, very nice. What kind of bird is this? I don't know how to identify these birds effectively. That's a big-ass bird, though. And, you know, the quality of the shot is really good in the sense that, like, yeah, the fact that you're shooting straight up and you have this beautiful background in terms of the sky where you have like nice textured clouds, so it's not just like a boring blue or a boring white. You actually got a really good framing here. So good on you. What did you shoot this with? Very, very epic. Elopement is essentially a marriage that's without all the ceremony. I think that's one of the best things to do. I think either get married without telling anyone, or destination weddings are also pretty fun but very expensive. Okay, that's about it. That's all I think is good. Okay, what are we doing? We're just looking through some of the shots, and I'm trying to go through. So yes, nothing's changed. We are still going through our Nikon ZR footages. So again, you can see it pinned in the chat, but we were very fortunate to be able to get our hands on the new Nikon ZR before it was announced, and I got to travel for 3 days and do a whole film. I basically pitched to the Nikon team here in Middle East Africa region that I would like to make a documentary with their ZR camera. So I pitched a trip for about 3 days of shooting, where I spent 3 days on a chimpanzee island. It's a literal island in 45 minutes off the coast of Entebbe, Uganda, where there is a sanctuary for rescued chimpanzees. And so I spent a number of days interviewing the people that work there and filming the chimpanzees throughout this island, capturing the story, and then turning it into a short film / short documentary. And I released it a week ago when Nikon announced their camera. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the camera. I'm excited for when the camera launches. I do believe it is a game changer. Maybe that's too strong of a word, but I think it's a very, very positive development for Nikon, but it's also an incredible value, an incredible piece of gear for any aspiring filmmakers like myself, where it literally allows you to be someone who's never filmed a professional looking cinema thing before, like myself, and turn it into some really, really cool, hopefully a future award-winning documentary. I do want to pitch the short film that I made for some kind of film festivals. I don't know the first thing about that process, but that's how strongly I feel about the quality of the shots we took. Ignore some of the footage you're seeing here, though, because I just randomly did some color grading, not effectively, because we've been distracted. I'm just going through I'm going through all the clips that the footages that I captured, because we're putting together a product review of the Nikon ZR, and so I'm just highlighting or trying to find some of the best clips that I believe showcases the different features of this new camera. Everything from the audio quality with the 32-bit float to the dynamic range and the color science of the R3D NE codec, which is red inspired. And then talking about the stabilization of the camera, so showing anytime I was walking with it, because I usually shoot handheld. So all of this, we're trying to start to like filter in some of the best shots, and we'll put it into our product review timeline. Cyronius, yeah, so it sounds like you're pretty busy. But that's kind of cool. I never thought that you could be hired. Obviously, you could be hired for anything. But it's kind of interesting to think like you could be like, hey, I'm a wedding photographer. What about you? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a wedding videographer. What about you? And it's like, oh, I do elopements. It's like, wait, what? So, yeah, I specialize in elopements. It's like, there's something kind of funny about that, but that's cool to even, I never even thought of that, but that's like a cool little niche. So good luck to you, Cyronius. I'm sure you're going to do some epic shots from it. Nico, you said, I shot it with my old camera, the Canon 70D. The Canon 70D with a Tamron 70 to 300. Nice. You know, I've never shot with the Tamron or a Sigma lens. Wait, I might have shot with the Sigma once before. I've never shot with any of them. And I know the quality is supposed to be superb on both. But that's kind of cool. Nice. Kristen, you said there's an eagle's nest I drive by all the time. So often I've wanted to stop and take pictures, but I haven't yet. When it comes to these, like getting proper shots of eagles, you will need something like what Nico mentioned. You need something that's got like a 200 millimeter or higher focal range or focal length. Or I guess in these days with the new Apple, whatever, the iPhone 17,000 or whatever that number is right now, I feel like that thing's got some crazy zoom on it. And I know the Pixels and the other Samsung cameras, all them, technically, I guess these days you can shoot the moon with it and it's like excellent quality. So yeah, you want to work there. Yeah, this sanctuary, amazing people. They really care about all the chimpanzees. You can see it in the way that the chimps are super caring and careful, and like the way they interact with the caregivers there when there's like, you know, when they're inside their space, right? They're not frightened of each other or aggressive with each other. There's like a proper handling of like everything there. The way they are safe, the way they build the bond over time, and the way they're patient with the chimps, everything about it. It's just, I walked away really understanding that the sanctuary is a very genuine and authentic place for understanding how to take care of the wild, and also finding ways to effectively enact change outside of the island, right? But like just working with the government, trying to figure out other ways to kind of save space for the wild animals, and then also find ways that there's a cohabitation that's possible. So finding solutions where doing X can lead to the people in a nearby village actually thriving alongside neighboring chimpanzees. So there's a little bit of those stories that the doctor shared with me. I didn't get to share it in the 5-minute documentary, but we do hope to keep sharing more extensive versions of my trip on my YouTube channel. So it's just, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I'm trying to do one thing at a time. First thing is this product review, which I'm already a little bit delayed on in terms of putting together, but yeah. Cyronius, what's the photo shooting experience with the ZR? Oh yeah, I didn't take too many photos, and I haven't been able to actually load it into Lightroom yet because it wasn't compatible. I will say it's probably, I believe it is the exact same partially stacked 24.5 megapixel sensor as the Z6 III. So in some ways, it probably visually will look similar to the Z6 III quality. However, I prefer the shooting on the Z6 III by a mile because you have a lot more physical buttons on the Z6 III. The ZR clearly is video first with the large monitor and all that kind of stuff, but it does mean that you don't have a dedicated back button, focus button. You don't have all these other shortcut buttons that you can program. So to me personally, I just feel like if you are photo first, the Z6 III makes more sense. Although the ZR is technically cheaper than the Z6 III. So, you know, if you are more video first, like I am, then yeah, it's like a no-brainer. This ZR is insane quality. So, Garvey said, my brother has a Canon EOS Tiger R5. What the? I don't even know the. Wait, Canon has a Tiger. Hold on. Song name, please, or is there a playlist? Okay, you sent this 2 minutes ago. Let's see. Okay, this song is called Cozy Desperation. Author is Ziso. Almost all of these songs are on Artlist because I'm deathly afraid of being copyright struck constantly on YouTube. Those bastards. Let me write it in the chat though, by Ziso. I do not have a playlist for this. It's just a bunch of things that I slapped in together from Artlist that I like. But if this is the song you're talking about, there you go. Or Rebel, maybe. I don't know. You know what? Listen, there should be a camera called Tiger. So regardless, I think if there was a Tiger camera, I think I would end up purchasing it. I would say tigers are probably my favorite wild cat to photograph, although I haven't yet captured pumas or jaguars, so they could change my mind. But tigers are beautiful. They're mesmerizing with all the stripes. They're in such a cool environment, like in the jungles. So it's like in terms of the colors, when you capture them, you'll have difficult times shooting them because they're hidden in the forest, but you'll have rich colors just by being densely in the forest without like harsh light, striking them. And they're way more deadly than lions, right? Like if a lion and a tiger got into a fight, the tiger would maul the shit out of that lion. Doesn't matter. Those tigers are... And then I would love to... I've captured photos of the Bengal tigers in India, but what is it? The Siberian tiger, I think, is the one that's like... It looks like... it makes the Bengals look like children. So anyway, so much of the wild animals in the world that I still need to capture. Okay, so... again, let me thank Cyronius very much for being so considerate enough to raid me. I appreciate it. We are on day 55 of live streaming. So if you are new to this channel, welcome firstly. And this is our second month of streaming, and it's been really, really fun. We do multi-stream across YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I am 1 year into my YouTube journey, although I'm probably only a few months into like consistently pushing content there because we've been traveling almost permanently for the past year and a half. And so what you'll see me do on live streams is try to catch up on an entire 2 years of traveling. And we have over 100 terabytes of footages, and we spend time on the streams trying to edit the footages into not just like taking individual clips like you're seeing me do right now. So this is a poor example of what I normally do on the stream. We're not just trying to find nice footages and edit them. We're trying to put a story together. So usually we are working... I say we all the time. See, Kristen, I'm doing it again. I always say we. But what I like to do is I'm trying to make nice cinematic films on my YouTube channel. So starting with the one that's pinned on all the chats, but we are trying to go from doing travel vlog and diary style of content into more thoughtful films, short films or whatever. And it's mainly because I love the pursuit of storytelling. I would love to become an expert at it. It's personally like it's a passion of mine to become a great storyteller. And I love using all the mediums to do that. So now we're learning how to be filmmakers. We've been doing video for about 2.5 years, and about 1.5 years maybe of like dedicating towards like understanding video editing using DaVinci. And as of maybe less than a month ago is now trying to do like actually understanding documentaries and short films and just trying to understand the whole concept of putting a story together start to finish, even before you go somewhere to shoot. So we do a lot of like travel stories. I would love to be able to keep traveling the world, finding stories and sharing the best stories of the world with the rest of the world. So yeah. Right now the story that we're focusing on is the Chimp Island in Uganda, this sanctuary in Uganda, and it's been super fun to be able to share a little bit of it. I think it's really a noble cause what they do, and I wanted to just make sure I did a good job of telling their story properly. So that was good motivation for me. There are 55 chimpanzees, and these are this is like one of the youngest ones for sure. I think there are like maybe 3 to 5 young or like adolescent chimps at the island. Some of them, if not all of them, majority of them were actually born on the island. So even though the doctor was explaining that these chimpanzees, the females are given some kind of implants in their arms to kind of like a shoot, why can't I think of the words? It's a preventative measure to keep them from getting pregnant. There's a term for this. Why can't I think of it? Contraceptive, right? Wait, I don't know. It's yeah, anyways, they have an implant that's supposed to prevent them from getting pregnant. Contraception? Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you. But apparently those implants don't work 100%. So they're kind of like condoms, I guess, right? But I think it's because it's implanted in the arm, and sometimes they scratch at the arms, or eventually maybe something happens. So occasionally chimps are born on the island, which is something that they don't necessarily want to have happen, because the island is restricted. It's a, what did they say? It's a small island where it's not big enough, even though 95% of the island is cordoned off for the chimpanzees in like a full forested area that's uninhabited by humans. It's not enough space for the chimps to actually forage year round in that part of the island. So that's why the caregivers, they feed the chimps throughout the day, so they'll provide sustenance and nutrition and stuff like that. So the more chimpanzees get added to the island, not necessarily a good thing, because there's not necessarily the right amount of physical space for that kind of growth. So anyways, but they did have a few chimps that were born on the island, which is super adorable, right? To at least look at them. So Garv, oh no, sorry, I missed a few things. F-Mead, fun fact, the Siberian tiger was renamed the Amur tiger due to numbers in the wild diminishing and now found only in the Amur region and not the whole of Siberia. I did not know that. Damn. How does it feel to get relegated? It's like, damn, you're not inside the full of Siberia now, so we're just gonna give you a bit more narrow focused name. Amur. I hate that word now. I'm going to keep calling them the Siberian tiger because, come on, it's got a cooler ring to it. Garv, you said, here's the camera. I mean, I found it. Let's check out which camera you're talking about. The Canon EOS Rebel. Okay. I stand by the fact, I feel like not just cameras, but all these brands, I really find it annoying when all these brands they slap in all these letters into their names. Like, what does EOS stand for? T5i. Nikon's not alone. It's like Nikon XYZ D5000 this or anyways, I just find it so annoying. Same with iPhone. I don't know. Anyways, all of it's whatever. Kristen, have you seen the Nat Geo show Animals Up Close with Bertie Gregory? I have not. I don't do a good enough job of watching. I need to watch more like Nat Geo related stuff or documentary stuff. I've been limited in my time, and I end up watching more entertainment stuff, like sci-fi, fantasy related stuff. Like, I just finished Alien Earth, although no, I haven't finished it. Is the finale still coming out? I'm not sure. So I caught up to wherever Alien Earth is as a show, and I really want to watch whatever the finale is. And then I watched Peacemaker season 1. I need to now watch episode 2 wherever it's released. So I have not been able to watch any Nat Geo stuff, which I should. If here I am touting the fact that I really want to get the attention of National Geographic or work with them, go on an expedition, that kind of stuff, I probably should understand more of what they do. I'll think of it as homework. Kristen, you said you were talking about pumas, and the first episode, he goes to Patagonia to photograph the pumas, and they came so close to him. Yeah, there are some epic shots of pumas hunting, like not the llamas, whatever the equivalent of a llama is. There's some really viral footages where you see the puma chasing after one of those big ass llama looking things, pounces on the back of the llama, and then you see this eternal struggle of this puma trying to take it down. And I forget how it ends, but it was like amazing in slow motion. I would love to go on that trip. It just looks fantastic. Alpaca, is that what it's called? Oh my god. I mean, I know the word alpaca, but I don't know. Growing up, Wheels just like made puns out of it. I didn't really think of it. Alpaca. In Patagonia? Let's see. No. Okay, it's not an alpaca. It's this thing. The guanacos? But I mean, let's be real. This is basically an alpaca, right? Yeah, the guanacos. Yo, this thing is so crazy. Puma hunts no, not alpaca. Guanaco. Yeah. Look at this thing. This is probably a screen grab from the exact same footage I was describing. I could be wrong. There's a really epic one, but you look at this freaking puma, and the size of this jumbo-sized alpaca is what we'll call it for now. It doesn't look like it's possible. So, but there you go. Christ, you know? I would love to photograph this. There are some wildlife photographers who dedicate their time to do tours in this region. I would love to join them on these tours because somehow they know locations to get super, super close to the pumas. Like portrait level shots of these pumas. And I'm like, yo, how? That's insane. So this is one of the animals I would love to photograph in Patagonia. Jaguars in the Pantanal in Brazil. I would love to get the iconic shot of the jaguar pouncing into the river to grab whatever, I don't know, crocodile, something. And then I really, really want to dedicate time to capture the Pallas cats. And I did a trip to Mongolia searching for them, but we were unlucky. We missed the Pallas cat by like a few days in terms of a close-up shot. But I would love to like dedicate real time, just like following Pallas cats in the wild. They're like the grumpiest looking cats, and they're super adorable because they're super fluffy. Yeah, anyways, that's another animal I would like to... Look at this guy. Look at him. That's insane. Anyways, okay, we're getting a bit distracted here. It's not a bad thing, but... They're the same thing? Exactly, yeah. Alpaca, guanacos, whatever. I missed a few. Canon stands for biatch. I'm kidding. Yeah, oh yeah, low bass. I don't know if you're still here, but I am trying to figure out. I mentioned this on stream. I want to figure out a way to create these little badges or flares next to your guys' names based on if you are Team Canon, Team Nikon, Team Sony, Team iPhone, Team Samsung, Team Pixel, whatever. Like something that's universal enough that everyone could have one of these badges. But I would like to find a way, maybe through Discord, I can collect that information from all of you guys where it's like, okay, you're Team Canon, fair enough. And then if it'd be cool if we can actually create like a little badge icon that shows up next to your name when you're in the chat. Or if we create an overlay that's on my screen somewhere that keeps a tally, like a running tally of how, maybe there are 20 members of the Yobel Prize community that are Team Nikon, and then there are 19 members that are Team Canon. I don't know, right? I think that'd be kind of cool, since obviously we are, collecting fellow photographers, videographers, and all that. So, but yeah, like I said, even if you're not a photographer, if you have an iPhone, let's make you a Team iPhone or Samsung, or somehow if one of you guys are Pixel users, listen, more power to you. Kristen, you said, plus it would give you places to travel. Yes. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed something. You said, when I first saw your stuff, it made me think of that guy. You would love it. Yeah, genuinely, I am, because I was talking to someone at Nikon, and they were telling me about, like, some people in my sphere who are on a National Geographic expedition right now. So it is very much within reach. There's no reason that I could not be on one of these expeditions. It's just a question of, like, doing the right outreach or being connected to the right people, but that's within grasp. And so once I have time, let's say like in 2 weeks time or so, I do want to spend some dedicated time trying to figure out who can I speak with, like with intent, right? Who should I be put in touch with? Who should I reach out to, email, blah, 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 apply for, to get my name out there to see if like somehow I can join one of these like actual National Geographic expeditions. So yeah, it's a genuine, it's something I'm truly thinking about. So I haven't watched any TV, says John Nada. Well, firstly, thank you. I'm going to read the rest of your message, but I don't believe I've seen your name before. So if you are new to the stream or new to chatting, well, thank you very much for being here. Let's read. You said, I haven't watched any TV in over 25 years. Yo, that's like, how is that possible? What do you mean? Like, when you say you haven't watched any TV, as in that includes like Netflix and stuff, or are you saying on a physical 50-inch screen or something? I don't know. Sometimes I download something, but I hate 99.9% of everything modern. My favorite movie is Rashomon. What? Hold on 1 second. We gotta look this up. Let me open this guy up. Why do I keep closing my Chrome? Rashomon. A 1950 film. Whoa. What is this? Yo, it's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's crazy. It follows various people who describe how a samurai was murdered in a forest. Wait, wow. Okay, well, anyways, this sounds really epic. A priest, a woodcutter, and a peasant take refuge beneath a ruined gate. They discuss the trial of a notorious bandit held for rape and murder, each narrating their own version of the tale. That sounds Really cool. That sounds like really good storytelling. Huh. And the way the synopsis, a priest, a woodcutter, and a peasant walk into a bar. They started that trend. If this came out in 1950. Okay. I've never seen it. Will I watch it? I'm not sure. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm the opposite of you, John. I love all modern stuff. I love every time technology gets better when it comes to film quality and stuff. I love it. I freaking love it. And it's hard for me to watch some of the old school stuff. Just because, like, yeah, I just the quality of whatever you're looking at. Even though sometimes, because the quality wasn't good, it means the acting is probably top-notch. It probably means the storytelling has to be top-notch because they didn't have the handicap of having these epic new camera techniques. So, now, if they made a remake of Rashomon, I'd probably put that at the top of the list. So I'm being honest with you. I like that modern shit, okay? They the same thing, really. F me. Oh, you were talking about the alpaca. Yes. Alpaca and guanacos. Is that right? John, you said, and I love Alien and Aliens, so I will never watch Alien Earth. Okay. I came into the Alien world super late, to the point where I still haven't seen any of the Alien vs. Predator stuff. I really liked Alien. Is that the first of all of it? I thought that was really good. I thought the sequel I found super annoying. Although it was good, but I couldn't get over the fact that one of the little girl in the second one, the sequel, whatever. I was gonna say I don't want to ruin it, but it's like, yo, this movie's so old. I guess it's like if you haven't seen it, you're not gonna see it. But I didn't like how it starts off with that little girl from the first one, just being dead, like, you know, like dying before the movie really even starts. I don't know. It just felt so. It was like a bit of a letdown. I was like, what? You spent all this time rescuing this little girl, or she survives. Out of all of them, she survives, and then without any fanfare, she's dead. And I kind of get that maybe that's the whole point of like this kind of pointless dying kind of concept that some movies do. But I still didn't find it enjoyable for that reason. And then a bunch of the other Alien stuff, while like story-wise, they're probably really, really weak. I'm one of those that still enjoyed watching Prometheus, even though the story and everything, like, okay, it is head-scratching, or even the one that came after that. But I found the technical, like the visual cinematics really mesmerizing. And I like one of those main, was it Fassbender or whatever? But yes, I agree the story sucked ass, so it must have been disappointing. Kristen, you said, in high school, I drew a colored pencil drawing of a puma from a page of Nat Geo as my visual guide. I made it so detailed. Oh, that's pretty cool. You drew a colored pencil drawing. As in you sketched it? Or like, was it like a copy you did? Either way. Yeah, pumas are so cool. Super cool. I still would like to photograph them. Although, I wonder, are pumas similar to cougars or mountain lions? I'm curious, like, is it like all the same thing, just in different regions, or are they completely different? I have no idea. Apparently humans are not as fun of prey as the alpaca. Yeah, we scream a little bit louder, I guess, so it's a bit more annoying. Kristen, you said, oh my god, I've never seen those cats before. Those are the cutest things ever. Oh, the palace cat. Sorry, I'm slow with the chats. My bad. We're not going to improve those, so. F me, you said, I was thinking of doing the same thing, but just at my local zoo. A whole day with one animal. A whole day with one animal. Unfortunately, I've been so long without reading the chats that I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds really cool, man. If you do that. Whatever that thing is that you're going to do at the zoo, do it. Team Nikon all the way. Yes, yes. F me, I'm sure LB would be able to create a bot for that. Low base. Oh yeah, Low base did mention something that he was looking into it, which I appreciate, but I probably should have a chat with him first to let him know my thoughts. I feel bad if people work on things on like half fleshed out ideas that I say, because I've had this happen before. Some people have been super, like, they jump on whatever random thoughts I had, even though I didn't give all the full context. So it's like, yo, I feel bad because it's definitely not the direction I was meaning for it to go, and I feel bad that you put in so much energy. John, you said, I'm a technician assembly programmer, so I'm a Mac user, so I use an iPhone. Hells yeah. I fully have switched over to Mac. You know, I got my Mac Studio, got like a bunch of MacBook Pros and iPhone this and iPhone that. I don't use watches or the other cool things that they got, though. I do want that Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses, though. I feel like I need to get that before my next trip, whenever that is. if I can have the Meta Ray-Bans before my Japan trip in February, assuming that works out and everything, that'd be really cool because I want to test out the live translator functionality. Because everyone in Japan, nobody speaks English in Japan. It's just like showing my arrogance. It's like, how dare you not speak my language? But yeah, nobody speaks English there. So to have a translation module that's real time, that's, oh my God, that's like such a game changer. So Garv, I hate it when I have finished a video and it's maybe 40 minutes and the rendering needs 1 or 2 hour, 1 hour over 2 minutes, trailer 10 minutes. Yeah, and this is obviously the only thing you can do is get a more powerful PC or something else, right? But yeah, I'm glad I got a more powerful PC. I was watching a bee lay an egg with dementia. Sorry, Kristen, I only read that first line and I could not believe the sentence that you were making me say out loud. I was watching a bee lay an egg with dementia. Okay, let's read the rest though. I was watching a bee lay an egg with dementia residents, and we were all amazed that we have the technology to see something like that. Oh, you mean on TV? Oh, like one of those like Nat Geo stuff. Gotcha. Although it's funnier in my mind, I was just imagining you guys are all staring out a window at like a bee doing that. Or that you're looking at a bee that has dementia, or laying an egg and the egg has dementia. So all of those, all of the above could be interesting. But yes, I hear you, Garv. Rendering is one of the worst parts. And that's one thing I really don't like about DaVinci. I don't know if Final Cut and the rest have the same issue, where when I go to render a video, I can't actually continue editing anything else on DaVinci. So it's just locked in until the rendering is complete. And I find that so annoying. But anyways. You have maked the chat. So animations. Yo, Garv, I'm going to need you to take that sentence you put in the chat and make it make sense. You have made the chat as so animations in the desing of the stream. Help me out. Help a brother out, Garv. What are we saying? I need the Meta Ray-Ban just so I can translate your message there. Kristen, you said, I looked at the photo in Nat Geo and on a blank page drew it. Oh, that's some real skills. Wow. I have an old picture of the drawing that I might be able to find to show you. Yes, please. If you're on the Discord, or I think we follow each other on Instagram, so if that's easier. But if you're on the Discord, feel free to put it into the photo channel that we have. Hashtag, what do we call it? Hashtag photos. Wow, so original. Maybe you can product test that and get paid from Meta while you're on that working trip. Yeah. Listen, we can work with them. Although I've shit on Facebook quite a bit. I just found the whole direction that they took when they renamed themselves Meta and the whole VR concept. I just found it so terrible. I was like, yo, what are you doing? Why? It's like, anyways, this Meta stuff, the Ray-Bans. Okay, I accept that technology though. The Dementia Bee, yes. Garv, you said, I have 64 gigabyte RAM and good gaming CPU. But it's a good PC. Gotcha. How did you learn the chat animation? I'm sorry, I learned English. I'm in the 7th class. I'm not good at English. I'm just joking, Garv, obviously. I don't want you to feel bad. We're just having some fun. The fact that you speak English, if that's not your first language, that's always impressive. I always find it so funny because I meet so many people from all around the world, from my travels, but then also living in Dubai. You meet people from all over. And the amount of people that I have a conversation with where English is not their first language, and then they apologize to me from the beginning. They apologize saying like, sorry, my English is not so good. And then I always have to respond with like, well, it's better than my whatever, Russian, or it's better than my, you named the language. And it's like, yeah, I feel bad that anyone would apologize that they speak more languages than I do, and they're, having to speak in not their native language to communicate with me. So yeah, never apologize for that, Garv. I apologize for making fun of you too much there, but it's funny. Who hasn't shit on Facebook? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, we are caught up on the chat. Well, thank you guys for making this very fun for me. Okay, we have not been productive though. So I was looking at this footage for the longest time. I think it's a good one. I really like the colors. It's a little bit different from the colors I personally would end up with. Like the greens are a little bit more It's a little bit punchier in like yellowy, I guess. Like the shot itself, everything is a bit brighter than how I normally would want to shoot. But the colors are nice. Like it's a weird thing. Like I like the colors, but it's not my style of colors, but I like it. So, and everything looks very, very crisp. Yeah, so we think we're gonna keep this one. Ooh, something just happened. Yo, thank you very much for the follow on the Kick side. Now, Kick always, it's like every time someone follows me, although the trend has broken in the past few days since I've returned, but usually if someone follows me on Kick, it's because they're about to promote some service that they got, or like, hey, join my Discord, or join, if you want to get followers quickly, you should reach out to me and go to this website at www. And let me spell it out so the link doesn't show up so I don't get blocked. So unfortunately, this person who followed me, I believe you're one of the latter. But we did meet some really cool people on Kick in the past week, so shout out to them. Garv, you said the king of color correction. I hate color correction. Maybe it's fun, but sometimes it makes me angry. I don't do anything on color correction. I am far from being the king. I feel more comfortable, obviously, when it comes to like editing photo colors, right, in my style or whatever. And even then, I don't necessarily do anything so crazy. Video, we are so new to the video editing space that I haven't trusted myself to really know how to use all the tools for proper color grading and being like a true colorist, as they say. But all I do, generally speaking, is drop the curves and like drop the lighting a bit and hopefully have a good eye for the shot looking good. And the good news for me is for wildlife, usually you don't have to go crazy with the colors because you want to keep it somewhat natural. So here, all I'm doing is just trying to make it a little bit darker without being overly dark, and then just being happy with the shot. So I think this shot looks really nice. You have a cool little intimate moment when the baby chimp looks over at the camera, comes up close to I'm assuming it's the mother or someone in the community, and then looks over. So I think we're going to go ahead and highlight this finally and drag it over into our product review timeline. And we'll put this into we'll put into the first category for like showing the quality of Nikon ZR's red codec. Look at us, slow and steady. Okay, not steady, but slow. But slow and eventual. We're getting there. All right, let's do the same color corrections to this shot as the previous. Let's just see if we can copy it over. Okay, yeah, looks good. One thing I need to learn to do a better job of is like applying the same color grading and corrections across a number of clips to maintain similarity, right? Or continuity, I guess is a better way to say it. So that if I end up using all these footages, it doesn't feel like you're jumping from one creative style to the next. It should feel like a sequential story. So. Oh yeah, it's time to gamble. All right, thanks for reminding me. How many points do I have? Exclamation mark points. I have 290 points on Twitch. Let's go ahead and gamble it all away. Exclamation mark gamble all. And on YouTube, I have 3,100 points. Oh, I won the first gamble on Twitch. All right, now let's switch over to YouTube. Exclamation mark gamble. Let's gamble 1,300. I'm not feeling that risky. Give me the heart of the cards. Waiting with bated breath. Did I win? Okay, the YouTube side is a bit slower. Anyways, let's keep doing it. Let's keep working. Okay, so the colors look nice here. Oh yikes, I lost. It is what it is. All right, let's go full screen this though. That is one technique that I keep wanting to improve. Oh, wait. Hold on. That reminds me. Oh, no, I think I put a note about it already. One thing I didn't see in the ZR, which would be really helpful for me, is having focus peaking show up on the monitor display. So the monitor being 4 inches, it's much easier to actually view things, but it's still not big enough for me to really say if the eyes are sharp. Like, not perfectly, not all the time. So if they could apply a focus peaking display when I'm manually focusing, right? So when I twist the manual focus ring, so let's say here I was shifting focus from the chimp in the foreground here, and then I believe I just did a manual focus ring twist as I was trying to shift the focus over to the chimp in the background. But then I overshot the focus point. So I would like, because I know in my existing Nikon cameras, you can have the focus peak where it shows whatever's in focus with like red pixels. So then I can see exactly what plane of field is considered perfectly sharp. And then as I adjust the focus ring, I should be able to see that wall of red pixels push backwards. Let's say if I'm zooming or focusing to the back. So then hopefully when I use that, I should be able to see that the eye and everything in the same plane should be red pixels. So then on that display, boom, I know exactly where to stop. So that's one feature I would like for them to include in the firmware if possible. Because here I missed the focus by a little bit. I think right now the focus might be slightly in front of the eyes. So it's slightly soft, unfortunately. And then here we finally get sharpness. But by then the moment's gone. It's been too much time in between, so. And obviously, like, there are other ways to do the focusing, but to me, it's like sometimes just doing the manual twist on the focus ring is much easier. But yeah. Garvey said, I need to go. Have a good day, everyone. Well, thank you very much, Gar, for being here. Welcome back. It's been some time. I'm glad you're still here in our community. Enjoy, and best of luck to your video rendering. And yeah, we'll talk to you in the next stream. Yo, where did this chimp come from? What the hell? Was that chimp there? Oh, I guess it was there the whole time? No, I thought that was the arm. That is the arm. Okay. So that chimp just shows up out of nowhere, like, what the hell? Looks sharp. Can you imagine if you introduced shampoo and conditioner to chimpanzees? You think or if you introduce is it called Hims? The Hims shampoo? And imagine like because I do notice a lot of the chimps are bald. Like imagine if you gave them, you know, whatever hair strengthening shampoo and conditioner. Would their hair end up becoming nice and lush and whatever? Anyways, I don't know why I'm even saying this. Yo, what are you eating? And why you spit it back out? So this was all shot at 4K 120 frames per second. And just because of like the rendering, I guess, it's playing out in very slow motion, which works out in my favor because obviously I get to see it frame by frame. But that's also why you're hearing that weird audio sound. So it's not like, it's just rendering is taking too long. And I kind of like it that way. So it plays out each thing slowly. Okay, that shot was like okay, but not necessarily something to keep. Here's a shot where I completely overexposed. So as far as like one of the good examples where I kind of messed up with the exposure levels, clearly you can see here, it's pure white. So, which is unfortunate because this is one of the rare shots I had of Sunday. So Sunday is the name of the chimp. This is the one that was castrated, I believe maybe at a circus, I'm not sure. But I didn't get a straight answer as to, did the castration lead to his body being so different, or was this like in the genes? Because one thing you'll notice about Sunday, this is a giant. He's like a skinny giant. He is freakishly tall compared to all the other chimps. Like insanely tall. Like all of his limbs are like maybe, how do you say this? I feel like if he stood up fully, he might be like almost 2 times the size of most of the chimps that are there, just in terms of height. Yeah, it's insane. Okay, the colors, let's just double click and see. Yep, there we go. So unfortunately, like I said, none of this can be fully rescued because I overexposed there. And then here's okay, but too many of the cage or the wire, the fencing. So not necessarily a clean shot. Okay, some nice shots there. Scratching the crotch. So one thing that I will end up doing with all of these footages, so even the ones that don't make it into like a product review or into the documentary, we will eventually post all of these wildlife shots, all the clean shots, in a single video, similar to some of the ones I've done on my YouTube channel, which is like showing wildlife in 4K with like relaxing music. So this is no different. All right, let's see. There's a few nice moments there, but I'm not sure how the audio is. Yo, okay, I do want to hear this. Can I hear this? Okay, let's listen to the audio for this one. At least in the very butchered slow motion sound, it sounded like you can hear the ASMR effect of like the chimps chewing on whatever they're chewing on. So let's increase the volume a bit. Let's back it up. Okay, let's increase it a little bit more.
So the mother can share with
Okay, I mean it's not bad audio, but it's slightly too indistinguishable. So okay, whatever.
that is for example our big stock.
Okay.
Then there's our ability to
That's nice,
modify
Rebel.
and make
Oh,
stock.
that's a good shot. Look, he got a really good shot of him rolling. Wow, nice.
So humans have developed in such a way.
Okay, let's check this one out because it did have some. There's a cool moment with the rolling. So a little too dark. Okay, let's just where is it? Let's adjust the curves a bit. Man, the chimp eyes, they really do stand out. It almost looks like kind of reddish, but let's see. Let's drop it a bit more. Cute shot. I'm not sure if we're gonna use it though, but it's at least an interesting shot. So maybe let's drag this over into our timeline. We'll put it in the back to like all the miscellaneous shots. Is it the back? Let's see. Yeah, all the miscellaneous but potential shots. I think it's a bit of a boring shot. Okay, let's see. I mean, this part we did end up using in our video. But as far as shots go, I'm not sure if, I don't know. It's like an okay shot. But I really only showed it in the documentary because there's like something a bit more poetic about seeing all the birds take off and then just having it blend into the shot. Like, yeah, this kind of moment. But in terms of like dynamic range, maybe there's something worth sharing there, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Nico, you said I have to go. I really enjoy your streams, and good night, everyone. Well, thank you very much, Nico. Thank you for consistently being on the stream and for being the first one in the chat quite often. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you appreciating the streams, and I'll see you in the next one, I'm sure. But thank you. Okay, so here, if only I had filmed earlier with like, I just didn't expect it to happen. I tried to jump over towards the birds. If I had got this in focus, this would have been a really good example of showing the dynamic range as we shoot directly against the setting sun. And then hopefully you can kind of see here, but like the fact that you would be able to get some details in like otherwise should be really, really dark depending on the camera you use and the dynamic range you have offered. This would have been a good example, but yikes on me for... Yeah, see, like, if this is like a really good example that I could have used if I had more seconds of it to show, like, that's like excellent dynamic range. Or like, to me, this would have been an example with a weaker camera that the bird would probably be like super dark, shooting against the sun like this, but we're somehow getting all this detail on this subject while literally being in front of the sun. But yes, I messed that one up. So what can you do? Yeah, like this kind of quality. Now, again, this is what we mentioned earlier. This was the ISO 3200 example. But you end up still being able to get everything, including details in the subject. And then all I did is apply a bit of noise reduction. And it doesn't fix it perfectly, but it has gotten rid of a lot of that graininess until the point where this is like fairly usable. So it's not the best though. It's not the best. Again, a good example. Let me think. It's just a little bit of a boring shot, or like there's not a lot of action going on. So I'm trying to be a bit pickier with what we end up using. I think I have some better shots where it's like you see like that golden effect of what's behind them. So I'm just holding out until we can find one of those. Because this was also the first day that I had the camera, and just like after maybe the first couple hours that I actually got to shoot with it. So there is a bit of a learning curve as I was getting more comfortable. So I don't put as much stock with the footage as I took early on the first day. And then as we get to the second and third day, obviously then if I mess up a shot, that's really on me more and more as opposed to the camera. Okay, so these potentially could be examples of like dynamic range. Because yeah, we're shooting now, the lighting isn't the best. It was like midday and I'm shooting at a subject point, like, you know, above me with the sky behind them. But we were able to get some really good details in the shadows of the chimp without blowing out the sky. So like, I feel like this is a good example where we were able to expose for the chimp so that the fur is not pure black, but we're still able to have the sky without it being pure white as we're like trying to expose for the chimp. So you can kind of see it in this waveform here where the darkest part of this chimp in this particular frame is still like well above 0 on the scope in terms of like being pure black. And then when I point at the sky behind the chimp, they are all well below like the maximum where it's pure white. So, but the only thing that makes me hesitant about this shot is still, it's not like the most cinematic looking shot. There's a lot of action going for it, but because of the fact that the sky is not like super popping, like you don't see clouds or anything, that would have made it a bit different. I'm not sure. And then these ones are obviously, I do feel like I need to include some of this to show, what would I show? I guess this would be good examples of dynamic range, because I'm shooting in very low light circumstances now with like, with these subjects where you're still able to see so much detail in like the shadows, right? Without losing any of it. All right, let's just play this out. But I think we have better versions, or like this one isn't as sharp if I recall. So let's see. Okay, it's pretty sharp here. But I seem to recall that I have some better versions of that same kind of like chimp walk. But this is pretty good. I'll probably end up dragging all of these over into the product review timeline, and then we'll just be a bit more measured. We'll figure out which portions to use. Because these are all so epic. Like, my god, I feel like I can make a YouTube video just on footages from this kind of like walk. Also, let me turn down the audio. Oh yeah, and I think, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not exactly sure, but I think this is the alpha male. At the very least, this is the biggest, this is like a unit, right? This is like the rock as far as chimps go. Or maybe this one's more like, is his name Dave Bautista? Yeah, this is the Dave Bautista of the chimp. Like a unit. This is a unit, okay? This dude, to the point where I think I even called it a gorilla at one point. Like, it almost feels more gorilla than chimp. So. Jesus. Now, this thing does terrify me. And then this face, the face of this chimp, when it's blurry, terrifies me even more than everything that we've seen so far. This is way more terrifying than anything. This blurry ass version of a chimp's face that looks very close to a human's face, but like a demon at the same time. Jesus. There's some cool photo frames, like still frames, that I should take from this. Oh, I do still need to make an Instagram reel. I have to make another reel about this trip, from this trip. So as we go through these clips, I need to like start highlighting all the vertical clips, because those are the lowest hanging fruit in terms of like you know, what footage I should use for a reel. Okay, I believe this is Sunday. This must be Sunday. Just again, like think about all the other chimps that we've been focusing on, like as they go through the exact same tunnel. And then you look at freaking Sunday, and it almost feels like he doesn't fit in the tunnel, like just given his sheer size. Like if he were to walk normally as he is, it feels like his back is gonna touch the top of the tunnel. It's insane. I'm just playing this in slow motion. So we're looking at a kind of, I mean, obviously it's a little too slow, so it's looking a little bit, what would you call this? Glitchy? Choppy? But it's kind of fun, because this way I can see all the frames. And also, this one's kind of fitting with the soundtrack we're listening to right now, so. I think this one is Tambu. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was like one of my favorite ones, just because the look of this chimp is insane. It's got nice colors. It's like a bit, do you say wizened? You know, it's got a little bit of gray hairs, white hairs associated with it. Yeah, just a much more distinct looking chimp that's seen some shit, okay? This guy's been around for a while. Yeah, so like, to me, getting a shot like this, where, and you can see it in the waveform, right? This is super, super low light. It was golden hour, so you have good light, right? Where there's light. But when I was shooting in this moment here, it's not like a lot of that good light can even touch the subject, because just the tunnel that we were in, blocking everything in this kind of close-up view. So to me, in this like super, super low light situation, to have a shot that feels like you can actually still see, it's not like pure black, and even when it's as close to black as you can imagine on the shot, it still feels like every pixel is distinct. And on top of that, to feel like there's such rich colors in these dark areas, to me, I just don't know how best to describe this. I don't have enough good experience with other good quality cinema cameras to do proper comparisons. I can only compare with my previous cameras that I've used as a much more amateur videographer with cameras that are not necessarily designed to be professional cinema cameras. And so if you were to say to me that this camera that I used is not a professional cinema camera, I would still then say that, one, to me, this is a professional cinema camera compared to where I came from and what I use. But then it also just makes me excited. Like, yo, you're telling me there are levels to this. And the fact that this one that you are saying is not a professional cinema camera makes me feel professional. That's already a win for me. And I was like, yo, what actually does it mean? What does it mean then to have a camera that's $5,000 that is a professional cinema camera? But yeah, anyways. I love the colors here. Love the details in the most low light of situations. feeling like I actually have some of the coolest shots in that circumstance. And then obviously here it looks as close to pure black, but to me, I like it. I like the textures here. It's soft. It's not like sharp or anything, but in a good way, it looks clean. And then the light comes back in, and we don't end up in a situation where it seems overexposed. Yeah, we're getting like, actually, this is probably a good shot. We're going to carry it over anyways. It's probably a good shot to show like the pure blacks to the pure brights in terms of like a single frame where you're seeing like a crazy amount of dynamic range here. So yeah, I don't know. I keep saying these things and I'm waiting for someone to correct me on it or to tell me otherwise, or like tell me something more. But it's like, I think when I keep thinking of the term dynamic range, I usually think about it from the lens of like highlights being like clipped, or like, you know, taking a shot where something ends up being overexposed because you shot towards the sun, and so now it's like pure white and like you messed up, right? So when I think of like high dynamic range, I usually think about it from that lens of like, are you able to rescue a lot of details in like very, very bright situations? But I think maybe where I feel like this camera shines even more is on the shadows. Like I just feel like, partially because I ended up shooting a lot of footages in very, very low light, dark situations, but I ended up feeling like I don't end up having a lot of areas where it's pure black. So in the same way, I'm like, oh, I didn't have many areas where I felt like I shot pure white and it didn't clip the highlights. I feel like it maybe does even better at not crushing the shadows in very, very low light situations. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's subjective, I guess. But I just look at some of these footages and I'm just like, yo, there's so much detail in the darks and I like it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. From my side, I will say my tank is running low, okay? The gas is being burnt out of our Christ. I don't know car analogies or metaphors. I'm tired, is what I'm trying to say. I'm feeling the exhaustion. Today was a little bit, like I said, we had a full day today, and the day before, or 2 days before that, so we had two almost back-to-back photo shoots. One was for like a client, like a event photo shoot. And that was a full day thing from like, I think I woke up at 8 until 8 p.m. So basically it was like the full day that I was out for the photo shoot. Then I had the day after that where I spent the full day editing photos to send to that client. And then today same thing from 8 a.m. until about 6 to 7 p.m. Was out for a full photo shoot where I don't think I sat down. Yeah, I was basically on my feet almost the full entirety of it. And here we are since coming back home. We've been streaming for a few hours, not like a crazy amount, but yeah, I do feel a bit of that exhaustion now. It's all kicking in at once. So probably good timing because right now it's showing it's almost 10 p.m. my time. I think we're going to go ahead and put an end to today's stream. Wonderful stream today. Thank you guys. And again, thank you to Cyronius for that amazing raid. And thank you everyone who has been here and communicating with me. Also, there was a number of people who had subscribed to me on the YouTube side, but I think it all happened after I finished my stream. So I appreciate, there were 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's like 7 of you guys who had subscribed to me from the YouTube side outside of the stream. So I believe that means these were people who watched some of the live streams like as VODs on YouTube and then ended up subscribing. I'm not actually sure how those numbers come up because I don't think it's just people who end up subscribing on YouTube in general, because otherwise I should have seen a lot more pop through randomly. So I think these are all attributed to the live stream. So thank you very much. Even though this happened off stream, it's cool to see that we're slowly building out our our community, and we're continuing with this. So thank you guys. Thank you, Kristen. Have a good night. You said yes. I will have a beautiful night. We don't have any more photo shoots planned, so we can commit back to just like doing the things we need to for for the foreseeable future. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kristen. Feel free to send me that video you mentioned. I don't know if it's in the Discord or if you want to send it separately. But yeah, feel free to send it. And tomorrow is Sunday. I will probably do a shorter stream tomorrow. So as I catch up and edit all these photos and stuff. So probably shorter stream tomorrow. And then in a few days' time, we should be able to get back to like a 7-8 hour stream. And yeah, we'll go from there. Whew, oh my god. Okay, another good day. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Nala, for where are you? Thank you, Nala, for using that bed finally. It was made and put there for you, and nobody used it for 3 months or whatever. Thank you, Kimbap, for chilling over here. Wow, full house. Everyone's here. Let me bother you real quick. Boop. Okay.